Hello, everyone. I'm the person who made the page. Okay, so we have a Michael Jordan fan who wants to go on. He's from YouTube. He goes by the YouTube username of Blackstar Allah. He thinks that Michael Jordan has a case to be the #1 NBA player of all time, and he would like to explain why he thinks that Michael Jordan has a case to be the #1 NBA player of all time. So let me put him on. Hey, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me. But I'd like to make a quick correction. I am not a Michael Jordan fan, but I do believe Michael Jordan has a case to be one of the greatest players in the NBA.
Okay, so we'll get into that, and if I'm wrong, I'll acknowledge it. But I have a feeling, based on a number of things, that you are a Michael Jordan fan, and obviously we'll figure it out as it goes. But anyway, so before I continue, do you want to follow up to anything, or should we just continue?
Like I said, we can argue the case, but I'm not a Michael Jordan fan, but I am a fan of basketball, and I can recognize talent when I see it, and he's talented.
Okay.
He was one of the greatest.
What do you consider a Michael Jordan fan? What does it mean? What do you think I mean when I say you're a Michael Jordan fan?
So I think you're saying that someone that's obsessed with Michael Jordan as being the only player who ever played in the NBA.
Okay.
Everybody else is D.
Okay, so you're saying basically to be labeled as a fan, you have to be obsessed.
To be a Michael Jordan fan, you would have to be obsessed.
So are you? If you're a fan of something else, like if you're a fan of a certain nation?
I'm a fan of Magic Johnson. I'm obsessed with Magic Johnson.
No, I understand, but if you're a fan of something else, let's say a nation, or you're a fan of a donut, or you're a fan of a movie, or whatever, does that mean you're obsessed with each of those things?
In my opinion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because when we talking about a fan, we're talking about somebody. At least I'm talking about somebody who's going all out for that team or that person.
Okay. Are you a fan of anything in the world?
I like a lot of things, but I am a fan of certain things. I just told you.
Okay.
I'm a fan of Magic Johnson.
So I know you said you're acknowledging you're obsessed with Magic Johnson. Is there anything else you can explain to me what you're obsessed about?
No.
So that means either you're not a fan of anything else, or you're changing your definition of what it means to be a fan for other things.
You asked me, am I a fan of something else, correct?
After you acknowledge that being a fan means you're obsessed.
Right. So when I answered your question, you said, well, are you a fan of something else? I said no.
No, I remember.
So your opinion, that's your opinion.
No,
I like a lot of things, but I'm not a fan of a lot of things.
No, remember you said earlier when I asked you, are you a fan of other things other than Magic Johnson? You said yes.
Oh, then I'm sorry.
Okay. So
if I said that, then I was mistaken.
No problem.
Because I thought I said I like a lot of things.
Okay, no, you did say that too. Yeah. So let me just ask the question.
Because it's different from being a fan and liking something.
Sure. So let me just ask the question just to make sure. Other than Magic Johnson, are you a fan of anything else in the world?
And I said no. Not that I can think of right at the top of my head, no.
Okay, fair enough. Now, two things I want to bring up. One, I'm not trying to come at you. I highly doubt you're not a fan of anything in this world other than Magic Johnson. And two, if you're telling me the definition of being a fan is someone who's obsessed, in today's world, when people say they're a fan of something, it doesn't necessarily mean they're obsessed.
Right, but we're talking about definitions of words, right? So as I define fan and fandom, these are people who are obsessed with a team, and I'm just talking about sports.
Sure. No, but
right. So I'm not saying, because I know how people use words. People are fan of movies, but what they mean is I like that movie. Correct?
Yeah. So same thing with sports. People are a fan of sports, but that doesn't mean they're
right.
obsessed.
But what I'm saying is people are not fans of sports.
They're not.
Right, that's what I'm saying. When you use the term in my world, if you're using the term fan, you're obsessed with this thing. This is you.
So a couple questions. Two quick questions. One question: why, if someone says they're a fan of something in sports,
do you conclude they must be obsessed? And two, when it comes to other things outside of sports, how come your definition changes of what's a fan?
I don't conclude they're obsessed. I listen to what they say when they say they're a fan, and then I determine whether they are my definition of fan, or whether they're just saying they like it.
Oh, okay. So you're not saying they're obsessed. You're not saying that. It depends.
No, see, you misunderstood totally what I said.
No. I'm going by.
At one point, I said that people use the word fan, but what they really mean is like.
No, I didn't misunderstand you.
Do you remember that point? Okay.
No, I didn't misunderstand you. I'm literally going by what you told me. But maybe maybe we're not on this. Obviously, we're not on the same page. So I'm clarifying. So if you're saying that you're not saying they're obsessed, you're not saying that. You're just saying a fan is obsessed. Why did you make it seem like if someone is a fan, they're obsessed? And then the second question also, just one more. Why, when I asked you, I remember I think I asked you something like, why do you think I'm calling you a Michael Jordan fan? Or what do you think that means? Why did you assume that I'm thinking you're obsessed with him?
Well, because I was going with my definition of fan.
Okay, and what's your definition again?
So to be a fan in sports, for me, is to be obsessed with that. That's your love.
Okay, so you are saying anyone who's a fan in sports is obsessed. You are saying that.
But what I also said was this. You hear people who watch sports call themselves fans, but that's not what they really mean. They mean I like.
Right.
They don't mean what I take to be a fan.
Right. No, I got you. So let's just to clarify. So you are saying if someone is a fan, you're saying they are obsessed.
In my definition, yes.
Okay. So, but I thought you said earlier that you only think they're obsessed after you listen to them and if they are actually obsessed. I don't have the exact words, but something like that.
And so those are my exact words.
Okay.
When I think someone is a fan, so I have to listen to you, to hear what you're saying, to determine whether you're talking fandom or you're talking that you just like.
Okay. So at first I took it as you were saying.
I hope I'm not being confused, and I'm giving this is my definition.
No, sure.
I see things.
It is a little confusing, but that's why we're clarifying. So at one point, I don't want to go in the exact order and all that, and I'm not trying to get the exact, I don't have the exact words, but just basically at one point, it seemed like you were saying a fan is someone who is obsessed, but then you said, no. I call them obsessed after listening to them if they're actually obsessed. So I'm still not sure which one it is.
So what I did was what you just said. I clarified my point.
Okay.
I consider a fan someone who's obsessed with it. They're obsessed with it.
Okay, fair enough.
But the only way I can determine that obsession is to hear you out.
Okay, fair enough. So you're not saying anyone who's a fan is obsessed. You're saying it depends.
I didn't know. Okay, yes, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying that people in my world, or my definition of fan, some people misuse the word fan, and what they mean is like.
Okay, fair enough. Now that we clarified all that, what made you think that the reason I'm calling you a Michael Jordan fan is because I think you're obsessed?
Because, as I stated earlier, that I'm assuming that you thought that I'm only thinking Michael Jordan everything.
Okay, no, obviously I don't know you enough to know that. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know you enough. I call you a Michael Jordan fan. Well, actually, I should just ask you, would you like to know why I think you're a Michael Jordan fan?
Yes, I would like to know why you would call me that without knowing me.
Sure. I obviously don't know you enough. I don't know most of your takes and all that. But whenever someone makes the case that Michael Jordan has a case to be the number one NBA player of all time, and based on some other things you've told me, which were not on the air, so I want to be fair to you, you have to think a certain way to think those things. And when you think a certain way to think those things, you're going to have to either have some takes that are factually wrong, or you're going to have some contradictions, or some goalpost moving, or something, or a combination. It could be one or more. Which we'll get into.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see by asking the question.
Exactly. We're going to get into it. Okay. So let's get into it now. Unless you want to say something else. Anything else you want to say, or should we just start?
No. We could see because I do want to say something.
Sure.
So acknowledging someone as being good or great doesn't make you a fan. But you could say, doesn't even mean that you like them. You just acknowledge that they can do this well.
I would agree with your second part, that if you acknowledge they're the greatest, it doesn't mean you like them. That part I would agree. The first part, where if you say you're the greatest doesn't mean you're a fan, I disagree with that, because if you're going to say this guy is the best baseball player, or this is the best nation, or this is the best donut, or whatever, it means you're a fan.
So when in sports, normally, because you brought up baseball, these things are position players, right? So you could be the first baseman. Best first baseman in baseball don't make you the best baseball player, right?
I just because you're a first baseman, it doesn't mean you're the best. Yeah.
So in basketball, I don't know about today's basketball, but in his era, basketball was position basketball. He was a two guard, shooting guard.
He also played small forward and other positions.
I mean, his natural position was two guard, correct?
Yeah. He was a shooting guard in most basketball games. At least professional games. I'm sure it's the same for non-professional games, but at least in professional games.
Yeah, well, he did in North Carolina too. He was a two guard in North Carolina. I don't know about his high school days.
Yeah, and probably non-professional games. When people play basketball as a team game, they usually don't just stay on one position. Things happen where they go to different positions.
Right. But we're talking about. So, like I said, basketball, like baseball, they have positions, right? There's the point guard, the two guard, the three, the four, center.
Right.
Not to say you can't guard or you can't guard somebody else or slide down or move down, but your position is two.
Right. In baseball, though, just so you know, they can play different positions too.
Of course, Randy Velarde was a utility man. For the Yankees, Randy Velarde.
I think the name sounds familiar. I'm not sure who he is.
Well, he played a lot of, some people are utility people. Some people can do multiple things.
Right.
But they have natural positions.
Sure.
I'm a third baseman, but I can play shortstop if you need me to.
Sure.
I'll even take the mound if you need me to.
Sure. I agree. People play different positions, yeah. So where were you going about the NBA having position basketball? Where were you going with that?
So I think what I was going with was, when you was talking about saying someone is the greatest, in sports, as I was saying, people play position. So, and I'm not saying this, but someone can say, well, I can make an argument he's the greatest two guard ever.
I think he has no argument that he's the greatest two guard ever.
No, I'm saying someone could say that and make an argument for it.
People can say whatever
you can argue against it.
Yeah. People can say, yeah, you're right. People can make an argument and someone can argue against it. People can come up with whatever they want then. But just for the record, I think Michael Jordan has no case to be the number one NBA player of all time, and he has no case to be the number one NBA shooting guard of all time. And when Michael Jordan was in the NBA, he was never the number one NBA player when he was in the NBA, and so on.
I could slightly agree with that. And I agree with you to a point.
Okay.
Michael Jordan was drafted in 1984. He was not the number one player drafted, correct?
That's right.
Hakeem Olajuwon was. Sam Bowie was number 2, correct?
I think so, yes.
So he was drafted number 3, correct?
Yeah.
By the Chicago Bulls.
Yep.
So right there, I can agree with your argument. He wasn't the number 1 player drafted right out of college. He was number 3.
All right.
In college, I don't know if you remember his college days. He had some good years later on, but the North Carolina team actually belonged to Big James Worthy. That was his team. But he hit that big shot against Georgetown with 16 seconds left in the finals. So that shot kind of brought him into the light.
For a lot of Michael Jordan fans.
Well, for basketball, period. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
You're right. It also was for sports in general. You're right. Sports people in general liked it. But having said that, the people who usually make a big issue out of it now, and when they act like he was the best college player of all time or the best college player on his team or he's just the best basketball player of all time, whatever, it's usually Michael Jordan fans who are now making a big deal of that.
I agree with you. I agree. He definitely was not the best player in college. Len Bias might have been better had he not, passed away. To be honest with you, I'm actually I love Magic Johnson, but I'm actually a Celtic fan also. So it's kind of contradictory.
So, please feel free to explain, if you like, why you think Michael Jordan has a case to be the number one NBA player of all time.
Well, there's several reasons why I think that he has a case to be. One was he was like an unstoppable force, or one-on-one. He was like totally unguardable.
Well, let me just follow up to that quickly. So, number one, and there's no particular order to this. Number one, lots of people are an unstoppable force one-on-one. Number two, lots of people are unguardable. Number three, that's actually not true that he was unstoppable one-on-one. There were players who beat Michael Jordan in a one-on-one game. And number four, even if you're right that he was unstoppable in a one-on-one game, that wouldn't have anything to do with why he has a case to be the number one NBA player of all time.
I totally disagree with that.
All right.
I don't think there's a lot of players that are totally unstoppable one-on-one. Beating me once or twice doesn't make you unstoppable.
But even if that's true, at least you would acknowledge there's some people who could beat him one-on-one. Because if you want to say there's not a lot, fine. There are, but if you say there's not a lot, fine. At least does that mean you acknowledge there's some?
I do acknowledge there's some. Remember, this is an argument for why I think he is the greatest. Sure. I didn't say he was the greatest.
I understand.
That's what we're arguing, correct? I just want to make sure we're arguing that.
I understand, and I'm following up. I'm following up to your point that why I think maybe your take is questionable. If he gets beaten one-on-one sometimes, then that would mean he's not unstoppable.
So when you mean that I get beaten one-on-one, so basketball has two sides. So how do you beat me one-on-one?
The same way you brought it up about remember you said no one could beat him one-on-one?
Right. So, and when I'm talking about, I should have clarified this point. So I'm talking about NBA basketball. I'm not talking about in the gym playing someone one-on-one.
Okay, so
I'm talking about Michael Jordan, the team basketball player.
Okay. So then if that's the case, fine. That's good you clarified. So everything I told you still applies. Nothing changes.
And like I said, I disagree because you couldn't name someone who dominated, and we're talking about somebody who dominated on both ends of the court, offensively and defensively.
One-on-one?
In one-on-one.
Okay.
Well, no. Let me clarify that.
All right.
Not one-on-one, because he was not the greatest one-on-one defender.
Okay.
So let me clarify that.
Sure.
But he played both sides of the court.
Lots of people did.
And he dominated on both sides.
Lots of people played both sides. Lots of people dominated. But just so you know, he didn't dominate on both sides. He dominated offensively, but he didn't dominate defensively. This gets to what's the definition of domination.
In 88, Michael Jordan did the trifecta. MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, scoring title, All-Star MVP.
Yeah, so this gets into, this gets into the definition of what counts as dominating. So there's two things you want to consider. Having a year of what you call a trifecta doesn't mean that when it comes to the all-time list that you're dominating on both sides, and that means you have a case to be the number one NBA player of all time. And also, when you bring up that example of how he had that trifecta, you're going by some things that are voting. Voting doesn't mean you're better than someone. It means you got the votes. And you know people get votes for lots of reasons. Votes
are based on numbers, though. You're not going to win Defensive Player of the Year if you didn't play defense. Wait. Can you answer that?
Yeah, I'm answering.
Can you win Defensive Player of the Year if you don't play defense?
I was gonna follow up. Can you win Defensive Player of the Year if you don't win defense? Well, I'm gonna give you.
If you don't play defense,
yeah, that's what I said.
Don't play.
Yeah, if you don't play defense, I'm gonna give you two answers. One, theoretically, it's possible, but the second answer, realistically, no, you're probably not going to win the award if you don't play defense. But
can you name me?
But hang on.
Now,
but hang on. Yeah, thanks. But we're not disputing that Michael Jordan played defense. I never said he never played any defense. I'm basically telling you that just because somebody votes for you doesn't mean you're the best. There's a lot of people who vote for a lot of reasons, and they don't always vote for the right person.
We're talking about professionals, right? So we're not talking about fans who may not understand the game. We're talking about sports writers,
And
right?
how do you know they're right?
Wait. I mean, go ahead, because you were going to say something.
I'm done. I was just saying,
I lost my train of thought, but go ahead. What you were going to say?
No, I was done. I was just saying, how do you know they're right? It was pretty simple.
It's not that I know that they're right. What I'm saying is these people are qualified. So it's not that they're right? It's not that, anything they say is right. I'm saying they have the qualifications. This is their job.
But you're playing
That's what they do.
But you're playing both sides. You're saying, on the one hand, they're professional, they got qualifications, they know what they're doing and all that, and then you say, but I'm not saying they're right. It can't be both.
And the reason that I'm saying that you can say that they're not right is because humans will disagree with people, right?
So then it's a matter of
what
opinion.
I'm saying is, because I have an opinion as a fan or as someone who watches basketball, I'm not the guy who writes the column. I'm not the guy who keeps the numbers. I'm not the guy who does those things. I'm just somebody who watches.
Okay, there's a
So it's a little bit different than someone whose job it is to do that.
Okay, so there's a lot of problems with this argument, a lot. Now, I'm not going to get into all the reasons because there's just too many, and I want to be fair to you to follow up. So what I'll do is I'll just give you 4 problems. That way you don't get too many, but you don't get too many.
Can you give me one at a time so we can address them
Sure.
instead of giving me 4 in a row?
Sure, no problem. One at a time is totally fine. Let's give you one at a time then. Problem number 1. If you're saying, let me see, which one do I want to start with actually? Hold on. Let's start with this one. Just because someone is a professional or not a professional, or is an expert or not an expert, or has qualifications or doesn't have qualifications, and so on, it doesn't mean that the person they vote for makes them right. It just means they voted.
What I'm saying to your question, right, to respond to that is, right, in court, there's 2 types of testimony, right?
I don't know.
There's witness testimony, meaning someone who said they saw or witnessed something, and then there's expert testimony, right?
Okay, I don't know if that's true, but okay, all right.
Well, okay, so, and this is law. And then there's expert testimony. People who are experts in the field of something that get called to court to testify based on their expert opinion. Now, this goes back to my point to whether I say opinions may disagree with that, and I'm not saying that they're right, because we're human beings, we have opinions. But they're going to accept the expert testimony over my opinion.
That's actually not true. In courts, they dismiss witness testimony all the time, and in courts, they dismiss expert testimony all the time.
Can you prove that?
Well, I don't have all the cases in front of me in my pocket right now, but I can assure you.
No. But can you name one case where an expert witness was dismissed?
I don't have any example, but since you brought up courts, I'd like to think if you have some knowledge of courts, and not just knowledge, just some common sense on courts, I'd like to think that you would know that just because someone goes to court and they say they're a witness, it doesn't mean that everyone just believes everything they say. And then 2, when it comes to the experts, just because a guy is an expert and he goes to court and he gives his take, it doesn't mean everyone believes them.
And I agree. That's what I said. Because everybody has a right to their opinion. But what will the court qualify, right?
Well, the court doesn't
qualify.
If the court
qualify the expert opinion.
No, haven't you heard of people asking doctors for a second opinion? So if the court's going to go by experts, then which doctors do they rely on? The first doctor who agrees, or the second doctor who doesn't agree?
Now that's a good question. Now we're talking about conflicting expert opinions,
right.
And some people, when Michael Jordan won Defensive Player of the Year, he didn't win unanimously.
Well, there's something else you have to consider. When you bring up the example of doctors, well, you didn't say doctors, you said experts. If you said doctor, it doesn't matter. When you said
but your opinion was a doctor.
But hey, sure, that's fine. But when you bring up experts, there's something else you're not considering. When the experts give their opinion, they actually back it up. They say, based on this science, based on this information, based on these facts and all that, here's why I think the way I do. What you Michael Jordan fans do, and I know you don't consider yourself a Michael Jordan fan, but I think you are, is you guys don't prove you're right. So you guys go, well, I'm just going to bank on these people because if they're saying that I'm right, if they're saying they're right, then it must be true.
And maybe Michael Jordan fans do that. So I don't disagree because I don't know.
But you're doing it. You're doing
what I
it.
do know, what I do know, I'm definitely not doing. What I'm stating is the fact. In '88, Michael Jordan won Defensive Player of the Year, All-Star, the All-Star MVP, and the league MVP.
That is definitely a fact. Now, here's a question. What does that fact prove?
For starters, in '88, Michael Jordan was the absolute best player in the league.
That doesn't prove it. That doesn't. You're right that it's a fact he won those three. That's a fact. But when I ask you, what does that fact prove? And you said, for starters, it proves what you said. It doesn't prove that. You believe that.
No, I don't believe it. The league believes it because they voted him.
And you accepted it, so you believe it too.
People voted for him.
Right.
People voted for him.
Right. No, I agree with you. They did that. And they believed it, supposedly.
And it wasn't me. And it wasn't me who voted for him.
But I never said it was. I'm saying you accepted it. You're making that argument as part of your case, so you're one of them. You believe it.
No. I don't believe it. It's a fact. Did he win those 3 awards?
Well, now we're going in a circle. We don't dispute it's a fact that he won it. That's not the dispute. We agree.
Why does one win MVP?
A million reasons. It's not one reason.
What does MVP stand for?
We already know what it stands for, but let me just finish what I was saying there. If you say you don't believe it, why would you bring that up as a part of your argument?
It's not that I believe it. I'm stating a fact. He was the most valuable player of the league.
But we're not disputing he won the award. There's no dispute.
But what I said was in '80. You said, what did that prove? I said, what it proved is in 1988, Michael Jordan was the best player in the league.
No, it doesn't prove that. That's what you believe. He
won the most valuable player award.
Are you saying anyone who wins any award as being the best means they're the best?
If you win the most valuable player award for that year you're the best.
Okay, so
in your sport.
But what happened to what you said earlier? You said earlier when people vote, they're using their opinion. How can an opinion equal a fact?
So here's how opinions equal facts. You heard of things called theories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are theories facts?
No.
Theories are in fact, but theories are based on the factual evidence that you have.
No,
correct?
No, not exactly. No, you're mixing it.
Let's look up the word theory, and the theory will tell you what it is.
Well, before you look it up, let me just give you a quick example. There is no fact to prove that the sun is going to come up tomorrow, but when you calculate the place of the Earth and the place of the sun and the speed that the Earth is moving and all that, you can calculate and say, here's what's going to happen, and then you can prove it. So what you're talking about,
that's based on what you know, right? So you can theorize that the sun is going to come up tomorrow based on the fact that the Earth travels at 1,037 and a third miles per hour.
Right, but when you talk about
at this point.
But when you talk about,
we can go to this point and we can see that the sun. Right. Now, I can't guarantee you it's not going to rain. I'm theorizing based on what I know.
Yeah, when you talk about the word theory, a lot of people make this mistake. They think of the word theory in the layman's way. They're not talking about the science word theory.
Not me. When I think about theory, I think about scientific theory.
If you're going to go by
scientific theory is based on the factual evidence that you have. Okay,
I'm glad you said that, because when you go by the voting, they had no factual evidence that he was the best in any of those things.
They based their opinions, right?
Opinion is not fact.
They base their opinions.
Opinion is
on
not
his
fact.
play.
Opinion cannot equal a fact.
I said, wait. They base his opinion. They base their opinions on his play.
Well,
he led the league in steals.
There's a few problems.
Wait. Can I finish what I mean?
Go ahead.
Is it okay or no?
No, you can do whatever you want. You said some things I wanted to follow up to, but go ahead.
No, well, all I said was that they based their opinion on his play.
I heard you.
If you wanted to follow up to that, I'll wait.
I heard you. Yeah. So there's a few problems with this. Number one, you're assuming to know what their criteria was. You're assuming that they were consistent with their own criteria. You're assuming that nothing else played a role except facts when they voted. And then at the end of the day, the bottom line is, you're assuming they used facts to prove he was the best.
That is correct.
Okay, so I don't. I respect that you acknowledge that. So since you acknowledge that, let me just put the question out again. Actually, no. Forget that. Let me just try like this. Number one, was Michael Jordan the best in those things that year? And number two, is it a fact he was the best in those things that year?
Now, when you say those things, what things are you talking about?
Remember the TriStar thing you were saying?
Oh! When he won the 3 awards.
Yeah, because right now I was saying that you're assuming this, you're assuming that.
In 1988, he had the most points in the All-Star game.
What does that have to do with anything?
So he led the Eastern All-Stars to the win.
No, what does that have to do with anything? I don't understand.
His play. I mean, I can't remember quarter for quarter what he did.
No,
his play was the.
No,
well, wait, you asked me a question, right?
No,
what did that have to do with it?
What is the All-Star
game? Are you going to answer?
Yeah, but you're staying on the All-Star game. What does that have to do with the TriStar?
Right, because he won All-Star MVP, so that's what it has to do with it.
No, what's the connection to voting for MVP of the regular season?
So what this is right? He was having the type of season. I don't think. In my recollection, I don't remember anyone winning those 3 awards all in 1 year.
I could find. There's new problems you have now. So first of all, you're saying. I know you're not saying bluntly this is your criteria. I know that, but just have an open mind here. You came up with your own criteria and said, I don't know any player who won these 3 things, but that doesn't mean that.
No, but I'm not saying. I wasn't saying that. I don't think you let me. Not that you didn't let me finish, but I didn't get to express what I was saying when I said that no other player had won that.
Well, no, you can explain it, but it's not going to make a difference to me because I have something that's rock solid here. Number one, there's no connection between the topic of TriStar and MVP at the All-Star game.
Trifecta, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine, they're fine. And number two, I could find you almost any Hall of Famer out there and say, I don't know anyone else who did what this guy did. There's a million things out there. For example, just to give you a random example.
Give me a random.
Okay, Jerry West won the Finals MVP award on a losing team. Now, I could say to you, I don't know anyone else who got that award. That doesn't mean that Jerry West...
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar won MVP of the NBA on a losing team that didn't make the playoffs.
No, but I said Finals MVP. Finals MVP.
Okay, no, so I did you one better. He won MVP of the league, and his team didn't even make the playoffs.
But you're making my point. My point is, for every Hall of Famer out there, there's always something or some things they did that were unique. What you Michael Jordan fans do is based on the knowledge you guys have, is you guys always find ways to elevate Michael Jordan. Okay, and
again, I'm not a Michael Jordan fan, as I told you.
And as I told you, you are based on...
I said I can make the case that he's one of the greatest player or person to be considered the greatest player in basketball.
And as I told you, you are a Michael Jordan fan, and the more I talk to you, I get more things from you that I know that you are, because you say a lot of things and you have a lot of inconsistencies and goalpost moving and all that only... Actually,
it's you who moves the goalpost.
I haven't given you
because when you can't deny a fact, the fact is, right, Michael Jordan had won in this league.
Well, let's take a timeout. We're all over the map here. Let's go one at a time.
Okay.
One at a time. I don't think it makes sense for you to say I move the goalpost, because I haven't given you any take on who I pick as number one or who I think has a case.
No. It's not that you gave me a pick, but every time, and you could tell me if I'm wrong about my assessment, but we can gamble because none of us know truly how someone is picked as being league or player as MVP.
But there's a difference. I came to no conclusion. You did. I don't depend on them. You did.
Yes, I depend on them. And the reason, and I told you why I depend on them. They're the paid professionals. I'm not.
But you're assuming anybody who's getting paid money and is on TV and writing articles on it makes them an expert. And then, even if they're experts, let's say I'm wrong. Let's say that they're reliable, they know more than regular fans, and they're experts and all that. You're assuming, which you acknowledged earlier, you're assuming that you know their criteria. You're assuming they're consistent with their own criteria. You're assuming that whoever they vote for makes them right, and so on.
And I agree to that. I assume that, right? Because it happens.
And that's an example.
They're the ones. Wait, can I say?
Sure.
They're the ones who pick who these players are.
And you know who else relies on them? Michael Jordan fans. I've never heard.
So do Michael Jordan fans get a ride on in baseball when they pick MVP? That makes no sense.
No. You're not understanding me. I've never heard a baseball fan say Babe Ruth is better than Hank Aaron because he won the MVP award. I've never heard a hockey fan say this guy is better than that guy because he won the trifecta. I've never heard.
You never heard no one say that Babe Ruth is the greatest baseball player.
You're changing what I said.
Because he hit 60 home runs? You never heard that?
That's very slick what you did there. And I didn't say home runs. I said MVP, tri-star.
No, but it's the same thing. It's an award. He won the home run award for hitting 60 home runs.
It's not
you never heard anyone say that?
It's not the same thing.
It's exactly the same thing.
Let me tell you how it's not. Babe Ruth hits 60 home runs. There's no opinions. There's no voting. There's no guesses. There's no assumptions. Now, a guy voting. Here's
the assumption. Here's the assumption.
All right.
That he's the greatest player that ever played because he hit 60 home runs.
No baseball fan says he's the best because he hit 60 home runs. Nobody says that.
You hear it all the time.
No, you don't.
Matter of fact, they call people when they play other sports, if they do something, they call it a Ruthian effort.
You're mixing in two different things. I don't say no one calls Babe Ruth the greatest. I don't say that no one says he's the Babe Ruth of sports. You're making the mistake. You're making the mistake of taking something that's true, which is they say Ruth is the greatest. He's the Babe Ruth of sports, and you're assuming that it's because of things like he hit 60 home runs in a season. By your logic, Roger Maris would be better than Babe Ruth because he had more home runs than Babe Ruth.
But I'm saying people say that though.
But why
people say that he's the greatest because he hit 60 home runs in the 20s?
Okay, let's say I'm wrong.
It was because it was the 20s.
Let's say I'm wrong. Let's say I'm wrong, and there are people who do that because I'm sure somewhere in the state of Utah, there's a weird John Stockton fan.
I live in the state of New York, and they say it right here.
Okay, fair enough. Let's say I'm wrong. When I say people don't say these, I don't mean this as absolute, like 100%. There's always an exception to the rule, but in general, nobody says a guy is the best player in baseball because one year he hit a lot of home runs. Nobody says that. And Babe Ruth is the same. Nobody says Babe Ruth is the best because he hit 60 home runs in one year.
Okay. I will not submit to that.
Can I ask you though? Let's say I'm wrong. By your logic, Roger Maris would be better because he hit more home runs.
I would agree because people base it on home runs.
Okay, so why are we relying?
People were going to kill Hank Aaron when he hit 716.
Right, but what? But this is another example of how I know you're a Michael Jordan fan because you're going by people voting. Why are you relying on people? People are idiots. They believe stupid things. They contradict themselves and so on. Not all people, but some people.
Right, so the only thing you can go on is numbers.
I wouldn't say that, but you definitely don't want to go by voting. But that's silly. But by the way, let's say I'm wrong.
No. But voting, when we're talking about voting, and I don't want to get off the topic because we want to continue talking about, but when you're talking about voting, we're not talking about, these people, again, are paid professionals. They're paid to do this.
No, you've told me this already. We're going to go in a circle again. Remember, you admitted to me earlier. This is your admission. I don't have the exact words, so don't quote me. But you basically admitted you're assuming they're reliable. You're assuming.
I agree. I agree.
You're assuming that you know their criteria. You're assuming they're consistent with their own criteria and so on. So if you say you agree, why would you then say, but I'm going to rely on them anyway?
I'm going to rely on them, as I said, because they're the experts.
Okay, let's go with that. Let's say we throw out the window if they're experts. Let's say we throw out the window if we know their criteria. Let's say we throw out the window if they're consistent and all that. Here's a simple question. When these so-called experts vote for someone, what have they shown you that proves they're right?
So normally when someone wins an award in sports, they usually start talking about their numbers and what they did that year.
No, that's not true.
That is true.
I can give you a big example, which you will remember. You'll say, oh, that's true. You're going to watch when I give you the example, you're going to say that's true.
Right.
How many times have you heard people say that they're voting on a guy depending on how the team did?
That's not true. I gave an example of a loser, a guy who lost, who never even went to the playoffs and won an MVP.
I didn't say, you're not getting my argument. I'm not saying it never happens. I'm saying to you, when people vote, it's documented. People say all the time, well, if a guy is on a losing team, it's easy for him to put up these numbers, or, you know, what's the bottom line? He has good numbers, but he didn't win a ring. And then the same guy will say,
but you changed an argument a bit, because you said we're only going to stick to the experts. That's what you said.
But that's what I'm talking about, the experts.
But that's what you said. Oh, so you're talking about the experts.
I'm talking about the experts. Yeah, the experts say all the time.
Okay.
They'll
I watch, but I never heard anyone say that he scores this many points because he's on a losing team. That's why you win MVP.
Well, I wasn't talking about.
I never heard.
I wasn't talking about points, but just to answer that does happen.
Oh, for anything. I never heard them say anything of he did the most of this, and that's why I seen one.
But hang on. I understand. Even if whether it's points or something else, people say all the time, "Well, this guy's statistics is not as good as another guy's, but it was harder for him because he had a good team. He had a lot of people who could score. You know, he didn't get as many minutes as someone else and all that." And the same guy will say, "Well, you know what? His statistics may not be as good, but he won the ring." You're going to tell me you've never heard any of these things?
Oh, no. But see, we're not talking about, because the 12th man on the team gets a ring, right? So we're not talking about that.
No, but we're talking about what voters do. Voters do these things all the time.
No. But what you just said, or maybe that wasn't a good example that you gave.
No, voters do this all the time. It's a great example.
No, I don't think so, because the 12th man who doesn't get off the bench gets a ring.
No, you're not getting me. I'm not talking about rings is good. I'm saying people go by.
Well, you use that example. That's why you said.
I understand, but you're not getting me. I'm saying I use these examples because our topic was earlier. You were saying, don't voters go by statistics, or is statistics the only most important thing? And I'm saying to you, there's lots of voters who don't just go by statistics. They go by other things too.
So. This is what I think. Statistics are first.
That's a problem too, actually. You know why?
No, that's what I feel. I feel statistics are first.
No, that's a problem too. You know why? Because statistics are not exactly first. It's certain statistics that are first. They pay attention to certain numbers more than other numbers. And another reason I know you're a Michael Jordan fan is because you're the kind of guy. I'm not saying you only go by scoring. I'm not saying that, but I know scoring is your first thing.
But did I say that?
Based on what you said earlier, which I don't have the exact words.
Well, no, but what did I allude to that made you say that? Because I didn't even talk about scoring yet.
You did. You brought up a couple of examples. Let me just think here. It'll just waste time. I think one was when you were talking about how players, Michael Jordan won the award. He dominated on offense and defense. And then on the other example was... I said he dominated on both sides of the board, but he wasn't the best one-on-one defender. Let me give you the second example. And then the second example was... there's another one-on-one. That's going to be scoring and defense. And then the third example was the All-Star game. He scored certain points and all that. Most Michael Jordan...
Well, no, you asked me why did he win MVP in the All-Star game? And I told you why.
And you assumed that was the reason.
That was the reason.
No, it's not. People vote for different reasons. But
so tell me, wait. If that was not the reason, tell me what was the reason.
I'll get it to that, but let me just finish.
You would have to... Wait. If you're going to tell me that was... Because that's what I said. I said that was the reason.
I got
so you have to tell me what was the reason.
I heard you 3 times you asked me. I'm going to tell you. Also, even if I'm wrong, that it's not the reason, it doesn't matter anyway, because the point is you still focus on scoring as one of your...
But you still have to give me a reason. No. If my reason is wrong, then you have to tell me your reason.
But remember,
that he did.
I'll get to that. But can we solve one topic at a time? Remember, the topic was scoring.
But we're not going to solve it because you have to retort to me.
I know, but
you have to retort to me. You can't retort to me by saying, that's not the reason. You have to give me the reason that it was.
But you've told me this 4 times already, I think. Can we just focus on, remember you said earlier, scoring, you were disputing me if scoring is your main thing. You wanted some examples.
Yes. And you said, but wait a minute now, right? If we're going to have a fair discussion, right? Is this what this is going to be?
Okay.
Then you have to respond. You told me that was not the reason.
Okay, all right. I guess you're going to ignore what I'm saying.
You must tell me the reason.
I guess you're going to keep ignoring me, so I'll just focus on your question. And I want to point out.
Well, because you have to answer my question.
Well, that's what you believe.
Are you the only one that's going to be able to answer questions? Or are we going to go back and forth?
You're not understanding what I'm saying, so I'm just going to answer your question. And I also want to point out you haven't answered.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry. I can't hear you. Went low.
I'm saying I'll answer your question.
I can't hear you.
Now, can you hear me now?
No.
No. How about now?
Maybe it's your speaker?
No, I haven't done anything different. I don't know.
I don't know what happened. It's so low. I can't hear you.
I don't know.
Okay, do it again.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Gotcha.
Yeah, what I'm saying is I'm going to answer your question, but you're not understanding what I'm saying. And I'm just going to skip past this because you really want me to answer your question. And so I'll answer it. I just want to point out quickly, there were some things that I brought up with you that you didn't answer. So I find it a little bit questionable when you say...
But I wish you would have pointed it out.
But hang on. I just find it a little bit questionable when I ask you certain things and you skip over them or you don't fully prove...
No, but you're saying that without proving it.
Well, let me just... You got to have a little bit more patience. You're getting a little bit impatient now. Let me just finish some answers here. There's some things you haven't answered or you did answer them, but you didn't prove how you were right and I was wrong and you went in a circle. So when you do those things, I think it's a little bit questionable when you start hammering home that I'm not answering your question.
I think you're being a bit disingenuous. I think you're being a bit disingenuous.
I'm not. I'm literally following up to. I'm trying my best to follow up to everything you say.
You accused me of something.
But you accused me of something. But you accused me of something. That's why I'm accusing you.
You're being a bit disingenuous.
No, I'm not. You can keep saying that I'm not.
Because you accused me of not answering your question, but you never called me out on it. If you would have called me out,
I have an answer. I have an answer. It's not that I never.
Wait.
So you're just not going to listen. You're getting very impatient. I have an answer. Let me try. I'm listening to everything you're saying.
Because I'm not trying to cut. What I want to do is
cutting me off over and over. Let me. You're cutting me off a lot over and over. I'm trying to be patient. Listen, you're getting very hyper and emotional. Relax. Take it easy. It's just not the NBA.
What I'm trying to do, sir.
There's no reason to point the finger at me and accuse me of things that are silly. Let me answer what you're saying. I'm
not accusing you. You accuse me.
After you accused me. I didn't accuse you first. You accused me first, and I just followed up to you. Let me answer your question now. I'm not saying I never told you that you didn't answer my question. You said to me, when did that happen? I did tell you a few times, can you answer my question? Or not the exact words, can you answer my question? I asked you a question and you didn't answer it. The reason I didn't say, hey, can you answer my question was because A, it wasn't a big deal. B, I didn't want to be like start like any negativity. I was just letting you finish your point. C, we were going in a circle anyway, so eventually we'll get back to it. And D, I think you're making way too big of a deal of this whole thing, honestly.
Okay, so now can I say my point?
Sure, that's why I stopped.
Okay, so now, right, you made it, I said to you, I told you, asked me a question. Why did he win All-Star MVP? Mm-hmm. I said, because of his scoring, correct? Mm-hmm. Because I want you to stop me when I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah,
you said
that's
not what that was not true.
Then I'm stopping you. I'm stopping when you're wrong. That's not what I said.
Right.
I said to you, how do you know?
I believe you told me that's not the reason he won.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's say that's not the reason, and how do you know? They kind of went together.
Right. Well, it sounded like you said that's not the reason you won.
Yeah, I don't.
So I said, well, if you're going to tell me that's not the reason, then you have to. I believe those were the exact words. But you can play it back. You
missed what I said. I didn't say those are not the exact words. I said I don't have the exact words of which one came first.
Okay, so maybe, and I don't either, but I believe you did say that too.
Right, that was one of the...
So I said to you...
Yeah, I did say that.
Go ahead.
One of my main point was not to focus on a sentence. My main point was to show you that if you say Michael Jordan got the MVP because of this, how do you know it's not true?
But that's not... Well, like I said, I don't recall you saying, how do you know? What I heard you say was, that's not why he won.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's
so
fine.
Wait. Can I finish it? You're not letting me finish.
No. Well, let's go one at a time now. If that's what you recalled, I'll trust you. Okay. So let's solve that one first. How do you know that he won the MVP because of the amount of points he scored?
Okay, but now what you just did was we didn't get to deal with the question that I asked you.
You still want to focus on the question? All right. Go ahead.
Right. So because we haven't dealt with that yet.
All right.
You said
Well, we
that
have,
was
but
not
you know,
the
you just
reason.
can't let it go. Well, go ahead.
I can't let it go because if you're going to say that's not the reason, then you got to tell me what was the reason he won.
Yeah, but I even answered that part. I said to you,
You did not.
well, let me explain. Don't say I did not. Let me explain. Relax. If you accuse me of something, let me get like more than 1 second to answer. You can't. What I said to you was, I think if I remember correctly, I said something like, if you like, I can give you some examples of why they vote for other things, but then we never got into it because we went to some other stuff. So do you want some?
I'm not saying.
Do you want
I'm
some
not saying
examples?
that may have not happened. No, no. I'm not saying that may have not happened. But what I'm talking about is what just happened.
Okay, but if
This just happened.
but if you're going to say to
And
me,
then I asked him, well, if you're going to, and I'm going to say it again, if you're going to tell me that was not the reason, then you have to give me a reason why you won.
you don't have to repeat yourself. I'm with you. I'm listening to you. I
But
got
you
it.
yet to
See,
answer that yet.
again, you're not. Relax. I heard you. You want me to answer the question. If that's not what happened, answer the question. That's not the way it happened. Answer the question. We got to solve it. Answer the question. I'm listening to you, man. Trust me. I get you. I'm saying
But
to you.
you've yet to answer.
See, but again, this is what I'm talking about. You're stuck in your ways and you just don't want to budge. Listen, at the time when we're going back and forth, I'm trying not to dominate the call. I'm trying to give you time. I'm trying to be fair to you. So that's why I said to you, if you want, I can give you some examples of why they vote. So that's showing you, hey, I have an answer, but I want to be fair to you if you want to follow up with something. But you're making it seem like I just didn't answer. I just didn't have an answer. I'm not giving you an answer. I'm not following up with any answer. That's
So,
not
so
fair.
wait a minute. Let me understand this. Is that your answer?
What do you mean is that my answer?
Is that your answer to why you won?
I didn't give you an answer. I said, if you want, I can give you some examples.
But that's what I'm waiting for, sir. I'm waiting
So you're just ignoring
for you to
everything.
give me an answer to that.
All right, you're just ignoring everything I'm saying. Okay, no problem. Okay, so let's get back to the topic. So, why did people win for voting?
Wait. So
No.
are you not going to answer that question?
I'm going to answer.
It's your show.
I'm going to answer your question.
It's your show. If you're not going to answer, just tell me. Let's move on and we're not going to answer
I don't know
that.
why you're not listening. I'm going to answer your question. You're not listening to anything right now. You're stuck in some place where you're just getting emotional and just hyper and trying to get in fast.
There's no
and not
emotion.
thinking.
I just want to be fair.
I keep saying.
If you're going to tell me that that's not the reason,
Can you do me a favor?
then I'm asking you to give me a reason why.
I have a favor to ask you. I pay attention to everything you say. When you say a point one time, do you mind not repeating yourself? And if you're going to repeat yourself, do you mind not interrupting me for the same point that I already heard you say that you already made? So if you say to me, hey, you didn't answer my question, you don't have to tell me 4 times, you didn't answer my question. You didn't answer my question. You didn't answer my question. And if you're going to repeat yourself, that's okay, but don't do it as an interruption. Just wait for me to finish then. Is that fair?
Okay.
All right.
But what would also be fair, right? What would also be fair
All right.
is that if you're not going to answer me, just say, I'm not going to answer that. Can we move on?
Do I sound like a guy who wants to avoid questions?
That's what it sounds like.
Well, then you're taking
That's what it sounds like.
then you're taking it the wrong way. If I ask you to go on my program and I'm willing to debate you and I'm telling you I'll answer your question and I say to you, if you like, I have an answer, that does not sound like a guy who is avoiding you. The problem is you've made up your mind and you're getting a little emotional and you're just not going to let me get into it and you have a pride issue where you don't want to admit you're wrong in anything.
No, that's a misjudgment, sir. I'm not emotional.
You have a misjudgment.
But what I am
but
is
I'm
someone
going to answer your question. I'm going to answer your question now.
Please,
Because the reason they vote for people is a million reasons. Let me give you 4. Is that not too much, not too little, just to make sure?
No. So no.
No?
What I asked a specific question.
Okay.
I said, why did Michael Jordan win All-Star MVP that year?
What's the difference between what I said and what you said?
Because you said there's a lot of reasons why people win, and let me give you 4.
Well, vote, not win, vote.
Well, that's when you vote for or win.
Right.
I want to know why he won the award.
Well, how would I?
that year.
Wait, hold on. If people vote for president,
Your opinion. All I want is your opinion.
I'm trying to answer. Again, I know what you're asking. What makes you think I don't understand? Are you going to accuse me now of not understanding your question? I understand what you're saying. Let me just answer the question.
I think we're having a long.
Let me just answer.
But I think we're going around in circles.
Yes, because you're going in a circle. I'm trying my best to deal with this. So let's try this again. If you say to me, why did he win that year? and I say to you there could be a million reasons why people vote, you're nitpicking and saying, no. I'm not asking you why people vote in general. I want to know why they voted that year. What's the difference between that year and the year before and the year after and so on?
So maybe I wasn't clear on what I was asking. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe.
I gave you a specific reason why I thought he won. Because you asked me what the reason why I thought he won.
And you didn't prove why he actually won that way.
No, I didn't say I proved it.
Well, by the way, I asked you, how do you know? I asked you, how do you know? No, I want to do what you do. I asked you, how do you know?
How did he win?
I asked you, how do you know? And I asked, now I'm going to play your game. I kept asking you, how do you know? And you never proved it to me, but I let it go for a little bit.
No, but I said that I never proved it to you. Right? Because I told you how I know.
But you can't play both sides.
I trust the experts.
No, you can't play both.
I told you.
You can't, and I answered that by saying you also acknowledge.
But I answered your question.
Again,
how do I know?
Again, you're not letting me finish. I heard you say to me that you answered my question, and then right when I said to you, here's what I said to you, you interrupted me right away. You got to let me have a little bit of a longer answer. Interruptions are okay, but you're not even listening to anything I'm saying. You're just not. You're just like,
no, but I'm saying, so when I'm explaining mine,
let me try this again. When you said to me that you admit you don't know, you're relying on them. I said to you that, first of all, why are you relying on them? And then you can't have it both ways where you act like they're experts and then you rely on them. And you basically went in a circle where you said, I acknowledge I'm assuming these things, but I'm still going to rely on them. That's not an answer that proves anything. It just means you're going in a circle.
So what I said was this, right? First of all, I didn't say that proves that's why it works.
I know that.
I said that this is how I
know that. I know that.
I know.
You're still not getting me. So I know that. You're going in a circle.
How could you say I didn't answer you when I'm only giving you?
No, I didn't. That's not what I said. I said you go in a circle, but you don't prove that you're right. So it's like you're not answering either. In other words, what I'm saying to you is either you have to acknowledge that you don't know, or you have to acknowledge that you're right. Or you could say, maybe it's in the middle. I don't know, but you're playing all sides. You're saying they're experts, I rely on them, but I don't know, and all that.
Wait. So here's the thing. When I say they're experts, what would make someone an expert at something?
Well, you tell me since you're relying on them.
Right. So these people have spent their years going to college to do this career, sports writing.
No, not all the
journalism.
No, not all the writers go to not all the writers.
Say all of them.
Not well. You said they go to. You said they go to college.
But you're not letting me finish what they're doing. Can I finish?
No? Well, can we go one at a time or no?
So, but what I was explaining what they were doing. So they went to school for journalism, sports writing. Some of them played the game.
Well, can we go one at a time again? They didn't all go to school and have journalism and sports writing.
And some, that's why I said, let me finish the thought.
But that's a separate point.
I disagree.
Journalism school and playing basketball professionally are two different things. What do you mean you disagree?
No. What I disagree is this. When they're analyzing the game, because some of them even say their perspective as a player is far superior to someone who writes.
And some of them say they're not experts. I called Stephen A. Smith's program on whatever Sirius satellite radio, whatever, and I basically said to him, "Aren't you an expert and all that?" He said, "I never said I was an expert." He said,
Okay.
People in the media have acknowledged many times, I'm giving an opinion. It doesn't mean I'm right or wrong. It's just my take. This is what I get paid to do. And people like you just put them on this high level that they must be right. And then you say, no. I'm not saying they're right, but I'm still going to rely on them.
And I'm going to clarify my point again.
All right.
People have a right to their opinion.
Okay. I have an answer for that now. Number one, it's not an opinion. When they say this guy is the number one NBA player of all time, that's not an opinion, that's a claim. They're saying this is true. And when you make a claim, it would be nice if you backed it up. And number two, if you say they're an opinion, let's say you're right and I'm wrong. that they're an opinion, then that means they're not right or wrong. It's an opinion. Why are you relying on them?
It is an opinion, and I told you why I relied on it.
It's not an opinion. It's not. It's if someone said to you, in my opinion, you live in Japan. Do you see how that doesn't work? Unless you live in Japan. Do you live in Japan?
This is what I'm saying. You don't, but you wouldn't know where I live at.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. That's why I'm asking.
You don't know where I'm living.
That's why I'm asking.
So all you're doing is making an assumption, right?
That's silly. You know what I meant. Come on. You know you don't live in Japan. Come on.
No, that's not the point. That's not the point. It's not about where I live at. People have a right to say Michael Jordan is the #1 player in the world if they want.
And people have a right to dispute that.
And people do have a right to dispute that. So saying that Michael Jordan is the #1 player in the world is not a fact.
Right. You're making my point, yes, but you act like.
But that's what I'm saying. Before we even got on here, often I told you he wasn't the greatest player.
But then you.
In my opinion.
Let me show you what you did. Okay, you're saying, look, there's no proof right now that there's a zebra flying in space, but I'm going to explain to you why scientists have a case to make the point that zebras flying in space.
I don't get your point. My
point is, there is no proof on any of this for Michael Jordan, and you want to make the case that he has a case.
The proof that I would use.
Experts, for example.
And his career numbers.
Okay, so let's go by both. Oh, we'll go one at a time, because those are going to cover a lot of areas. Back to the first one. Why are you going by experts?
I told you, they're paid to do this, some of them played the game.
How do you know they're experts?
How do I know that they're experts?
Yeah.
I don't know that they're experts. I know that they pay them to do this.
Okay, so being paid to do something means you could be an expert?
It puts you in line to be someone to judge.
There's a million people out there who get paid to write a newspaper article, to give their take on radio, to give their opinion on video, on TV or whatever, and they're wrong a million times. And they have silly takes and they contradict themselves and so on. Again, this is how I know you're a Michael Jordan fan, because the people who rely on voting more than anyone in sports are Michael Jordan fans.
Okay, so now what's the next point?
Okay, next one. When it comes to these people who give their take, let's assume that you're right. That because they get paid and they went to journalism and they...
Well, the next point, I'm sorry, but the next point was the people who played the game.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that. Yeah, I'm saying those parts. When it comes to this part that you're saying that they're experts because they go to universities, they major in journalism, they played professionally, wherever, they get paid money and all that. By your logic, this is where I say another reason why I know you're a Michael Jordan fan, because you guys move the goalpost, you contradict yourselves, which is, here's the example I'm going to give you. By your logic, thanks, no problem. But by your logic, the people that you should be relying on the most are NBA Hall of Famers, and most of them don't pick Michael Jordan as the #1 NBA player of all time.
Actually, most of the Hall of Famers that I've heard speak have said Michael Jordan.
And that's another example of how I know you're a Michael Jordan fan, because you guys think, and you didn't say
Magic
this.
Johnson.
Well, hang on.
Larry Bird.
Hang on.
I'm saying the names of the people who said
no, but I didn't finish. You guys think, and I didn't say you said this, but it's all in these lines. You guys think that either all the Hall of Famers pick Michael Jordan as the #1 NBA player of all time, or most of the NBA Hall of Famers pick Michael Jordan as a #1 NBA player of all time.
That's negative. First of all, you brought up the Hall of Famers, and you suggested that they don't pick him. Right. I started to tell you I can name Hall of Famers who have picked
What's
him.
the point of... I know how it happened. I don't know why you're telling me how it happened. You say you...
No. So this is my point.
I didn't finish.
I'm contradicting your point.
I didn't finish here. But I know how it came up. But when you start listing people who pick them, that's not all the Hall of Famers. You're cherry picking the people you want to go that you know.
Right. But I can go on.
No, no.
So how many people? Wait, let me ask you this: how many members are there of NBA Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
Alive?
I don't know.
Okay, so I don't either.
Okay, so what?
Right.
So remember.
So wait. So let me finish my point. See, I started, and then you. So what I was going to say
You
was.
asked me a couple of questions, but go ahead.
No. All I asked you was, and you answered. You said you don't know.
Right.
And I said me either.
Right, so I thought you were done. You had
So
a
now I was ready to go.
you had a,
so I wanted to go.
right, well, let me
ask you something.
let me explain that.
Wait, before you go on, I just want to say one thing.
Let me explain
Am
that.
I going to be able to ask you questions or not?
Let me explain that. First of all, you've asked me plenty of questions. I don't know why you're asking me innocently like
But
you don't
I've
know
yet
what
to
you're
get an
gonna ask me.
answer.
I haven't answered any of your questions. You're going to sit there and lie like that? I haven't answered anything? Are you serious?
No. So I've asked you specific things, and then when I start to, and I don't know if you want to call, because I'm not rambling. I just get the feel of saying a few words,
it's all on tape.
and then you go, I'm cherry picking when I start calling people's names.
Well, hold on. I answered that. So let me, before I get to that now, let me first explain what happened earlier, but I didn't let you finish. You asked me 2 questions. I answered. There was a silence, so I thought you were done. And
No, I started.
Hang on. And even if you weren't done, whenever in this phone call or phone calls in general, whenever people are going back and forth and they're asking questions and they're giving answers, it's not going to be 100% perfect where you have to point the finger at me and say, "Are you going to let me finish?"
No.
I didn't.
No,
I'm telling you innocently. You asked me 2 questions. I answered it. I thought it was a good time for me now to get in. If it was not a good time, okay. But why do you have to make a big deal out of this again? Now, to your other point that you said.
See, what you want to do is you want to make it seem like I'm obsessed with Michael Jordan, so I'm making a big deal out of it. That's not what I'm doing.
That's your interpretation.
What I'm doing is
no, you're wrong. You're wrong.
When you debate someone, right?
I don't need a lecture on how to debate people. I know how to debate. If you're good at debating, good for you.
And I said when I debate someone.
All right. But I'm not saying you're obsessed. This is your interpretation, and you're taking it the wrong way. And by the way, that was your definition that a fan is someone who's obsessed.
You said that I was a Michael Jordan fan.
Right, but I didn't say you're obsessed. That's your definition. This is your belief. I never said a fan is someone who's obsessed then. I'm saying you're a Michael Jordan fan because you do things like you think they're experts, you go by voting, you go by All-Star MVP award, and so on. You do things that only Michael Jordan fans do. And when I say only, it doesn't mean no one else literally does it. You can always find an exception to the rule, but in general, it's usually Michael Jordan fans who do things like this. Now, you said something else earlier that I wanted to address, but I forgot what that was. I can think about it. I'm assuming it's...
Can I get in there? Or
yeah, no? Go ahead. You don't have to ask me that. Go ahead.
You know what? That's what I'm gonna start doing because I don't want to interrupt you if you're going.
Well, you should be able to know without asking. You don't need my permission. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I appreciate you asking me. Thank you, but I don't. You don't have to be passive like that, where you're trying to make a point that I'm not being fair to you, so you want to ask me.
I think all people who watch sports. I think all people who watch sports rely on the sportscaster, the newspaper, the statistics.
It depends.
It depends. And this is how they all judge who they like.
Okay, there's a couple problems here.
I like Griffey.
I get your point. There's a couple problems here. Number one, you mixed in certain things that are not the same. Statistics and somebody who gives their take on TV are 2 different things. So when you lump it all in and say, well, people rely on these things, yeah, they do, but they don't all rely on them the same level, and they don't all do it the same way. For example, most people go by statistics. That's true. Most sports fans don't assume that if a guy puts a suit and a tie on and he tells you that this is the best player in the NBA, it must mean he's the best player in the NBA. That's silly. And even if I'm wrong, and most do that, it doesn't mean those people who do that are right. And by the way, if you're going to say voting counts, you have to be consistent. Do you agree with the voters on everything? No, you don't.
No, so that's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say is the commentators and writers use statistics.
How do you know?
I read the papers, I listen to them, I listen to them on the radio, they quote the statistics.
Let me clarify. I don't mean they never use statistics. When I said, how do you know, what I meant was, how do you know that's the only thing they go by?
No, I said they use them. I didn't say they only go by them. I said they use them. But that's part of why they say what they say. Somebody didn't hit. They're in a slump.
But don't you see the problem there? If you're saying that's part of it, obviously we're not focusing on that part. We're focusing on the other parts where they're either wrong or they're moving the goalpost or they're contradicting themselves and so on.
So are numbers wrong? Are numbers wrong?
See, again, you're not getting me. You're stuck and you're not getting me. I'm not saying statistics are bad. You're lumping everything in together as if they're all the same. If a guy on TV says, this is the best rookie, this is the rookie of the year. Yeah, he might be going by statistics, but that's not the whole story.
What else would be the story then?
All right,
Explain to me.
No problem. So I'll give you some examples of how people vote. Just by the way, do you want to take any guess? Because you know human beings. You want to take any guesses of what they go by?
You tell me.
All right. Okay. First of all, and there's no particular order. How many examples? Is 4 enough? Is 4 not too many, not too little? Is that good? A good number?
No, I'll just give me 2.
Okay, 2. Okay, fine. Number 1, certain people have a bias for a certain player. Maybe they like that player more than another guy. So they say, you know what? I'm just going to, more inclined to vote for that guy. Number 2, some people are not educated. Just because some girl gets signed at ESPN and she's 22 years old and she says she's a basketball fan, it doesn't mean the person she's reliable on everything. But actually, that didn't answer your question. Your question was, what do they vote on? So the last one was a bad example. So 1, they may have a bias. Actually, that's not reliable either, because you're asking me, what do they vote for?
That's what I was going to say. Maybe go to your next 2.
So it's fine. But by the way, those 2 things still count as why they're not reliable. But I'll answer.
But then, okay. So can I now retort to those 2?
Sure. You don't have to ask me. Go ahead.
No. Well, I want to be fair because I don't want you to say you're not letting me finish. Or
I understand.
Right.
I understand. But yeah, so, you can figure it out on your own. But go ahead.
So a bias, right? A bias would have nothing to do with numbers, because I can like you better than I like him, but that don't mean you had a good year statistically.
Right. Let's establish this. I have no problem with statistics. So let's just throw statistics out.
No. But when you said a bias, right?
Right.
So what I'm saying is, you brought up that people may like someone better than they like the other guy.
Right.
But that has nothing to do with numbers.
But I never said it did. You're again assuming.
Hang on.
Let me finish now. You're again you're mixing things together. You're saying when we make this bread, these things are facts, and you keep focusing on those facts, but you're not understanding there's other parts of the bread that are not facts.
Well, I'm only focusing on the parts that you brought up.
Right, and I'm saying to you, bias, and they're not experts. Those are not statistics.
But what I'm saying, right. No. But what I'm saying is, those people who may have their biases and may be fresh out of college,
okay,
have nothing to do with anyone's numbers. So, can I finish my point?
Well, but you said one thing, but go ahead.
No, but this is all connecting to my point.
All right, go ahead.
So when someone says, I think Kobe Bryant is going to be the rookie of the year.
I got your point.
It has nothing to do with whether Kobe's going to be rookie of the year.
The reason I interrupted you, I got your point. I thought you had something new to say, so I said go ahead, but you didn't have anything new. It's the same connection. I already understood your point. My point to you is you're assuming that they're just going by statistics. You're assuming nothing else plays a role. And every time I tell you this, you keep going, well, you can't mix in bias and statistics. You can't mix in not being reliable in statistics.
Okay,
but that's you assuming that statistics are the only thing.
How well do you know the NBA?
Pretty well, and definitely more than Michael Jordan.
Okay, so if you do, right, let's talk about people who won the MVP.
All right. Oh, by the way, same question. The same question I asked you earlier. You already answered this, but I just want to remind you in the audience. Do you agree with every vote on everything that ever happened in the NBA? I don't have the exact words.
No, because I have and I'm gonna answer honestly like I did before. I do not agree. I have my own personal opinion.
What happened to statistics?
But statistics don't lie.
Okay, well, I don't understand. If you say they go by statistics and you say they're reliable and you say that that they're dependable and all that, why would you not always agree with them?
Because maybe I wanted my guy to win.
So then
that's it. So I just wanted my guy to win.
You just had a contradiction. Wait. You just had
no. It doesn't. Because maybe I just wanted my guy to win.
I heard you say that 3 times already. Let me answer. If you're saying you wanted your guy to win, then you're proving my point that a voter can go by other things other than statistics.
What I'm saying is, maybe you're not getting my point. I'm saying the people who won statistically.
How do you know this?
Because I can look at the numbers. And that's why I asked you, do you know the NBA? Because we can go through the numbers of NBA players and see why they won that.
So you're sitting there telling me in the audience that every person who ever won every award in the NBA always won on statistics, and it was always
I'm talking about MVP. But if you want to say any award, then I'll say any award.
And you can say whatever you want.
I'm telling you and the audience that anyone who ever won an award.
I heard you. I got you. I got you. So are you saying, just to clarify, I know you said if you want to, you can do it. So are you also including other awards or not?
You can include them.
Okay. So you're saying to me, every award ever given in the NBA, every time they voted, they not only always went by statistics 100%, but they were always reliable.
That the statistics were reliable.
Okay, so when they voted for whoever they voted, they were always reliable.
What I said was and I'm going to clarify this point. What I'm saying is, the people who won, and they won any award, they went by the numbers.
I heard you on that part. Now, are you saying to me that every award that they ever voted on, because you clarified it, we got it, are you saying that A, they always went by statistics, and B, they were always reliable?
I'm saying B, that the statistics are always reliable.
Okay, how about the people who voted?
The people.
Then I'm confused. Then you have a little bit of a contradiction. Here's your contradiction. If you're going to say if you're going to say it's the statistics, it's not the people, then you're going against your own point when you told me that every time they vote, they can't be unreliable. They can't have a bias because they're using statistics.
I never said that.
Oh, what did you say?
Please don't say that I said that.
Okay, I heard you. What did you say? Go ahead. Please clarify.
So what I said was, people have opinions and they can disagree with I said it just now. I may have just wanted my guy to win, but he didn't have the numbers.
Okay, let's try this. Let's go one at a time. Are you saying people who vote, the so-called experts, are you saying they only go by statistics?
So, no, I'm not saying the people who vote.
Okay, fair enough.
Only go by statistics.
Fair enough. Okay, let's just start right there.
Right, so I answered that. Go ahead.
You answered that, yes, no doubt. Okay, so let's go right there. Why when I...
No, I want you to go.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Why is it when I try to tell you why they're not reliable, why do you keep saying to me, hey, they're going by statistics?
So, when we talk about voting, how many people vote for league MVP?
Don't know, don't care.
There we go. So, because there's so many people that's voting, I can't tell you that there's people here that are not voting on emotion. I can't tell you that.
But you were telling me earlier.
But I can't. No, I didn't say that earlier.
No. I didn't finish it. You were saying earlier that they go by statistics.
I say the numbers are what went out, and that's who picks. That's who gets the award.
I'm still trying to understand. Are they going by all numbers or no?
So, as I said, and I'll say it again, I can't say that everyone who votes for an award is voting statistically. I can't say that.
Right.
But what I'm saying is the winner of that award, we can check this, verify it, will be statistically one of the best players.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. I actually thought this is what you meant, but I wasn't sure. But now that you said this, I think what you're saying is, and I want to clarify, I think I got it, and I want to clarify. You're saying that you don't know for sure if all the voters go by statistics 100%, but it turned out by coincidence they all ended up being right statistically?
So, again, that's not what I'm saying.
All right.
I'm saying, so when someone wins the award, no one that I know in basketball has ever won the MVP unanimously.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
Okay.
Which is amazing because they're all experts, you know?
Right. But what I'm saying is,
being sarcastic.
We can't account for people's opinion, right? So I may have had a bias, as you said. But what I'm saying overall, statistics win out on who gets the award.
Okay, but maybe let me tell you what I meant, so you can tell me if I'm wrong or right. When I was telling you basically that these voters are not reliable, and when they vote, there could be a million reasons why they vote, and they might be moving the goalpost, they might be contradicting themselves, and all that. And you were telling me, hey, look, at the end of the day, you can't have those things because the statistics are right there. I took that as you were saying to me that, look, they were right because they got the statistics to back it up. Was I taking it the right way or not?
You totally took it the wrong way.
Okay, what did you mean?
Because I didn't say it. That's not what I was saying.
Okay, what did you mean?
What I was saying was there's a multitude of people who vote for an award.
Okay.
We can't count that people. We can't count for everybody. But what I'm saying, in the end, statistics win out.
What does that mean?
So
what does that mean?
Wait, can I finish the point?
Sure.
So what my point is, even if I had a bias and I voted for somebody because I really liked them,
okay, so
in the end, my vote would be overwritten by those who voted statistically.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. You're saying that you may not know what every person did, but there were more people who went by statistics than there were who didn't.
I would say that was closer to what I'm saying, yes.
Oh, it's still not, I'm still not getting it 100%?
That's closer to what I'm saying, but go ahead and make your argument to that point.
No, I want to understand. I think whenever people have disagreements, it's good to establish what they believe, what they think, where they agree, and all that. So if you're saying it's closer to it, I want to make sure I'm 100% getting it right. What did you mean exactly?
So to your point, that people have biases is one of the reasons. I never disagree with anything you said.
Well, you did. Well, you did disagree.
How people vote. No, I didn't disagree with that people have biases or things of that nature.
No, you did. Earlier you were disagreeing with me. When I brought up these points, you didn't agree with me.
I don't recall disagreeing. What I recall was saying. Well, I think we were. Well, anyway, I don't want to get into.
Well, to be fair to you, I don't think you said straight up, "Hey, I disagree with you that people have biases or they're not reliable." But I think what you did was you did disagree that if they're not reliable, and when it comes to the bias part, you disputed me as if you disagreed.
Okay, so how you got that was because when we were talking about voting, right? Because I don't think I got the point across what I was trying to say.
Oh, you still didn't get your point out. Okay,
I didn't disagree with biases or things of that nature. So basically what I'm saying is that statistics win out over that.
Okay, so what does that mean, statistics win out over that? What does that mean?
So I'm saying that most of the voters who vote based on player performance.
Okay, so quick question. If they're experts and they went to college and had majored in journalism and they played professionally or whatever, why would there be a situation where not all the voters are 100% reliable?
Because people are human.
Okay, so then if people are human, and that's a good answer, I agree with you, how do you know it's such a small number that are questionable? How do you know it's not bigger? Because a lot of evidence in the history of mankind will show you that there's more than just a small percentage of people who are not reliable.
Because we can check the numbers.
Okay, so then you are saying what I thought you were saying earlier, which was, but you told me this is not true, but I'll do it again. You are saying that basically, even though some people are not reliable, they all end up being right because coincidentally the statistics prove they're right.
So when you say all people, right, you're saying that now tell me if you're saying this, because maybe that's what I got.
The voters.
Are you saying that all the voters use the statistics?
I don't rely on them. I'm going by what I think you're saying.
No. So are you saying that I think all the writers and voters use statistics?
Yes.
And I just said that that's not what I'm saying.
You think there's voters out there who don't use statistics at all?
I think there's people who vote for what they want.
Okay. So would you agree?
But not that because they're not an expert. It's just that as a human being, you might have liked LeBron over Kobe.
Then if you have a prestige that they're allowing you to vote, and they're depending on you and all that, and you start voting based on other things that are not factual, that means you're not an expert.
Well, why can't you be an expert that's human?
Let me rephrase that, because I made a mistake.
You're not a professional. I would agree you're not a professional.
I made a mistake. You could be an expert, but that means you're not reliable.
Right, you're not a professional. I would agree with that.
Okay, so that's one of my points. These people who vote, they're not reliable for many reasons. Not just because they have a bias, there's many reasons.
But that doesn't refute my argument, because I still say statistics went over.
So then you're saying to me two conclusions. Conclusion number one, that no matter how the voters are, no matter what percentage are reliable or not, at the end of the day, they end up being right because the statistics win over, the statistics prove that they're right. And two, you're saying to me every award ever given in the history of the NBA has always been right because the statistics ended up proving they were right.
That's what I believe.
Okay.
That last part.
Okay.
The last part.
Oh, you don't believe the first one?
No, I had a problem with the first part.
Yeah, that I'm kind of surprised we're still not on the same page, because I've tried so many possibilities, and you keep telling me that. I think one you said was close to it, but everything else.
What you're missing is we can't control people, right? So there's always going to be people, detractors, people who don't like or want to go by their feeling. They're human beings, although they're experts. They may not be professional or doing it professionally, but that's how they feel. Like you said, when you spoke to Stephen A., he claimed not to be an expert. But when he gives his opinion, people listen, right?
Mostly Michael Jordan fans in the NBA.
Right? But they listen. But what I'm saying is, in the end,
when I say they listen, when you say they listen, meaning what I meant was as a joke, they accept his takes. Mostly when it comes to his NBA takes, it's mostly Michael Jordan fans who accept his takes. I'm just making a joke, you know.
Yeah, it's no problem. I understood what you were doing.
Yeah.
It didn't.
I was clarifying.
But no problem. But at the end of this, I say statistics went out.
Okay, so then and
to disprove me, you would have to show me. For me, you would have to show me an MVP who didn't win statistically.
Okay. So there's a lot to cover here, a lot. I'll try my best to keep it as fast as possible so you can get time to follow up. And
just a little.
Yeah, sure. Okay, you can interrupt me. After I make one point, you can interrupt me anytime you like, obviously.
No, go.
Thanks. Yeah, I just want to be fair to you then. So number one, when you say statistics win out, it essentially means you're saying no matter how they voted, it doesn't matter if they're right or wrong or reliable or not or experts or not, and so on, because the statistics proved they were right. So that means it's all a coincidence that they all voted the right way anyway. Number two, you're also telling me that.
Let me go to number one.
Go ahead.
Because you said I could, right?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So what it sounds like you're saying that I'm saying, and I want you to correct me.
Okay.
Is that I'm saying that the people who would be biased are going to change their vote and vote statistically that these people win. Are you saying that I'm saying that?
No. When you tell me that statistics win out, and you're telling me that some people may not be reliable, some people may not be experts, but at the end of the day, they're right because statistics show they're right. That means it's all a coincidence that no matter how these people vote.
But I didn't say that the people who voted, nobody has won an NBA MVP unanimously.
Why is that?
Because everybody doesn't feel that way.
Why?
Because they have, what you just said, they have their biases.
No, but I said there's more. Biases is no doubt a big one.
No, but you brought up the first point you brought out for your reason was bias, correct?
Right. But you understand that, and we'll get to bias. We'll get to that, but you understand.
No. I'm not saying that was your only reason.
I got
you. Said you had about four
I got
or
you.
more.
I got you. But I just want to clarify.
I'm saying I brought up one of the points that I'm just dealing on the point that you brought up.
I got you.
Right?
I got you.
You brought up 2 points, and I was dealing with those.
I understand. I'm just going to clarify, just so you know, and I think you already acknowledged it, but I just want to clarify. You do understand that I'm saying these people, you shouldn't go by voting for a number of reasons. You know I'm saying that, right?
No, could you explain to me why you're saying that voting is wrong?
So that you don't know. Okay, I thought you did. So There's a lot of reasons why they're not reliable. But at the end of the day, it seems like you're saying that even though they're not reliable, or at least some of them are not reliable, because you're not saying all of them are not reliable, at the end of the day, they end up being right because the statistics prove they're right.
What I'm saying is not that. So when you say they, who you're saying? Who's they?
The voters, obviously.
Right, but now no one has ever won MVP unanimously. So all the voters didn't vote that way, correct?
I know, but before we get to that, just to clarify, are you saying that the statistics proved they were all right, so it doesn't matter how they ended up voting anyway?
No, I'm saying the statistics did say right, and it proves those who voted against wrong.
Right. So you are saying that no matter how the voters voted, no matter how they voted, at the end of the day, they were right anyway because the statistics prove they were right.
But wait, see, here's what I don't understand. When you say the voters, you're talking about all the voters. All the voters didn't vote for the MVP, meaning they didn't vote this person to win.
No, obviously we're talking, in this context, in this conversation, or this topic then, that it's been about, on this part has been about the people who are allowed to vote for to give people a certain award or awards.
Correct.
So those people who voted, you are saying that no matter how many of them are reliable, no matter how many of them have a bias, no matter how many of them move the goalposts or whatever, they ended up being right because the statistics prove they were right.
No, I'm saying statistics end up making it right.
I don't understand what the difference. I'm not getting what's the difference, because it seems like there's a difference. What is the difference?
Because again, what I'm saying is no one has won the award unanimously. No one has ever got 100% of the award. No one ever voted 100% for Michael Jordan,
right?
Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Nobody's ever voted 100% for
So why did they vote differently?
And I stated this before.
Right.
People have their biases.
Right. But then you also said statistics won out. What does that mean?
So statistically, the person who won had the better season all around.
No. But are you saying this is? I know that we're close.
I'm saying exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying the numbers for the individual who won had the better numbers all around.
I gave a lot of possibilities. You dismissed them like I'm wrong. I think one, you said I was close to it. So I want to see what am I not getting? You're saying it's not that they're not all reliable. You're saying it's not that.
I didn't say it wasn't. No, I didn't say that, sir. I said.
You're not saying they're all reliable, are you?
I don't want to keep saying it, but nobody's won this award unanimously. So that means no one got 100% of the vote.
Yeah, that part we got. That part we got. But I'm trying to understand when you say the statistics ended up winning out, and when you say some people are not reliable, but you make it seem like most are, it sounds like you are saying at the end of the day, no matter how many of them are reliable, they ended up being right because the statistics prove they were right.
So what I'm saying is most people go by statistics. How about that?
Okay, so most definitely go by statistics, but there's no reason to think that most of them only go by statistics.
But my point was most go by statistics.
Are you saying only statistics, or they just use it as part of it?
My point is most voters go by the statistics.
Okay, so you're not saying it's the only thing. You're saying it's there as part of it.
I'm saying that's the main part of it.
The main part. Okay. So what about the non-main parts?
So you tell me a non-main part, and we can go over.
So for example, one that you already acknowledge. I think you've already acknowledged they're not all reliable, right?
So when you were saying non-main part, right? Well, at least when I was saying it, I thought you was going to mention something about the sport that they would go by.
Sure, I'll go by that too. But you wouldn't ask a kindergartner,
because I think we already addressed that part. We established that people are biased.
Right. Okay.
We established that. go their own way.
Yeah,
but I thought you were going to ask me, because I said they go mostly by statistics.
Yeah, no.
So what I assumed you were going to ask me or state was something about the sport.
I got you. I listed 4 things and I had more in no particular order. 1 is they're not reliable. 2, they move the goalpost. 3, they're not consistent with their own criteria. 4, they have a bias. And I have more, and I'll get into those more. I'm happy to.
Okay. So, but what I'm asking you specifically again.
But just real quick. But even on these 4 points alone, you do acknowledge these play a role. It's not all statistics, right?
I did acknowledge that those things exist.
Okay, so if those things exist,
but again, to my point, I was asking. I thought you were going to. When I brought up statistics, and I said that wasn't.
I understand. I already understand.
I thought.
I understand.
So what I'm waiting for. But what I'm waiting for, I know you understand. So that's what I'm waiting for. Okay, I'm waiting for you to give something on the sport that they may.
But hold on. So we already understood what you were thinking I might do, and we're going to get to that. But before we get to that, I want to establish something else. If you're acknowledging these things exist, why would you rely on them? Remember, that was the original topic earlier.
So again, I'll say it again. No one in the sport has ever won unanimously.
Right. So why?
I submit again. It's mostly statistics.
But why are you? But you acknowledge these things exist. Why are you relying on these people? They're not reliable.
But the fact is, in my mind, and into their mind, it's mostly statistics. People are going to be people, but statistics will win out.
Okay, so if it's mostly statistics and people are going to be people, why are there so many times when voting happens where it's not just a few people who didn't agree with the majority? It's a lot of people who didn't agree with the majority.
Can you name me a time?
I'd have to go back and dig back, but I'd like to think as a basketball fan and someone who likes the past NBA, you would know that A, it happened, and just by B, common sense, these things happen.
No, because you brought a scenario, so I'm asking, can you give me a time?
Before I do...
Because if you do, then we can argue it.
You're right, but can I ask you, you really need a specific example? You don't acknowledge it happens?
I don't acknowledge it happens. Okay. I need a time.
Okay. So, one more thing before I get to examples. That's just first place voting, second place voting, third place voting, fourth place voting. It's not always really close. Do you acknowledge that?
I can't acknowledge that, no, because I've seen votes with it that were very close.
So are you essentially telling me that all the votes that ever happened in the NBA, whether it's first place votes, second place votes, third place votes, and so on, they're all basically the majority voting the same way?
Your first question was, right, and correct me, you said they're not very close. And you asked me, and I said, no, I've seen folks that were very close.
No, that's not what happened. Come on, that's not what happened. I asked you if
okay. Ask me the question again.
I asked you basically, and I'm not going to give the exact words. I'm going to summarize it. I basically asked you, by what you know about basketball and common sense, do you know that these things happen where it's not close? And you said to me basically, no, I can't acknowledge that. I don't. And
I said that. I said I can't acknowledge that because, and thank you for clarifying that.
You're welcome.
Because I've seen NBA MVP races that have been close.
Okay, but I'm not asking you if it's ever been close. I'm asking you, are you telling me that when it comes to all the awards where they ever voted for anyone, in all the awards, that all the voting, whether it's first place, second place, third place, or whatever, it's always been close?
I can't answer that question because I haven't seen voting for every award in the NBA.
Okay, then how do you know? But
I have seen for MVP.
Then if you don't know, that's okay. I'm not knocking you. It's okay if you don't know. Why would you come to the conclusion that A, they're reliable, and B, that you don't acknowledge it happened?
I can't acknowledge something that I didn't see.
But this is a little different. If you said to me, look, I don't have any examples, I don't know, I never saw it, all that's different. I wouldn't knock you for that. But earlier when I was asking you, you were specifically telling me in a way like this. You were saying, no, I can't acknowledge that. You'd have to give me examples. I don't think it ever happened, and I think it's pretty much been close. Like those kind of things.
Well, no. I can give you examples where it's been close.
Where it was or wasn't?
See, so when I said that, I was prepared to defend that.
Where it was close or not close? Which one? I missed that.
The ones that were close.
Okay, but there's no reason for you to defend that because I don't dispute that. I wouldn't.
No. But see, again, when I argue the point, like you said, I have to be able to defend what I'm saying, right?
No, you don't have to defend that because because I'm not disputing there's been close voting. I've never disputed with you that they had close voting. I'm saying to you, if you're right that these people are mostly reliable and they're experts, how do you explain that they've had some voting where it was not close? And you said to me basically that it's always been close voting.
No, I didn't say that.
You didn't
I said
say
I've
that?
seen some that.
Okay.
No, I said I've seen some that's been close.
That's fine. We'll continue from there. So I'm not.
No, but wait. But I did say that.
Okay. That's not what happened. But it's on tape, and I don't want to get back into a circle of what happened and how it went and who said what and all that. Anyone can play the tape. So let's just continue from there. So if you're saying to me there are some examples where the voting has been close, why are you telling me this? I'm not talking about those times. I'm talking about when it's not always close.
First of all, you brought up the fact that it's never been close.
I never said that. I never said it was ever close. I never said that.
Like you said, first of all, you got the tape. Now, you didn't use the words.
Can I ask you?
You said first place voting? Well, let me say what you said.
Can I ask you, do you really believe that I was...
Can I say what I was going to say?
Go ahead.
You said there's first place voting, second place voting, third place voting, fourth place voting, and it's never been close.
I asked you, are you saying it's never been close?
That wasn't a question.
Are you kidding me? That was clearly my question. I've asked it multiple times.
You definitely can play your tape back.
Okay. Well, then you're taking... I don't know why you're thinking this, but you took it the wrong way, or you misunderstood, or you weren't paying attention, or whatever.
I mean, I know what the question sounds like.
Well, then you took it anyway, it's all on tape. So anyway, let me ask you now, do you really believe that my point to you was that in every voting ever, it's never been close? You think I would say something silly like that?
It sounded that's what you said.
So let's say...
I don't want to call you silly. So I won't call you silly, but that's what it sounded like you said.
And also, by the way, you do remember me saying over and over, on the one hand, I'm saying they're not reliable, they have a bias, they move the goalposts and all that. Why would I ignore all that and go, oh, but hey, they all vote for pretty much the same way. They all vote for the same people. It's always been close and all that.
No, actually you said it's never been close. That's what I'm saying you said.
I didn't say that. Well, anyway, all right, so let's go back to the topic now. Yeah, I think you misunderstood or weren't paying attention or something, but let's get back to the topic now. Now,
just play your tape back.
I can't play it right now, obviously. Like I said, you said
no. When you're there, you can play it back. I hope you're not disingenuous and edit points out.
Now you're going to accuse me that I might edit this out?
No. I didn't accuse you. I said I hope.
I know, but
that you're not disingenuous.
I know you didn't say I'm going to do it, but the fact that you're bringing this up now, you're worrying that I might do it. It's kind of like you're being a little bit questionable. Like, come on, I'm not going to edit it like that. I haven't given you any clue that I would, and I've given you plenty of clues that I try to be very fair. But anyway, let's go back to the top. Yeah, I'm not going to edit it out. I'll keep it the way it is. Is there going to be any editing? Of course, for you already know why there has to be some editing.
Of course there will be editing.
Yeah, right. But the call in general will be the way it is. The way it's going to be and all that. So anyway, let's go back to the topic.
Okay,
you're welcome. Thank you. So when it comes to the voters, are you acknowledging that all the awards that they ever voted for, first place, second place, third place, and so on, it's not always close?
It's not always close.
Okay. So this goes back to the original thing. How do you explain that it's not always close? Because remember, you said to me earlier that, hey, there's going to be basically some people who are not reliable and some people who have a bias and some people who move the goalposts and all that. I didn't say those are your exact words, but you acknowledge these kind of things can happen sometimes, but the majority of them are reliable. So if the majority of them are reliable, how do you explain that there's plenty of awards out there where the voting is not always close?
First of all, I never said anything about people being reliable. I said the statistics is what went out. So I just want to. That's what I want to clarify.
Come on, I thought we're talking about the voters. Remember the voters voting?
No. But what I'm saying is, that's my point. The numbers went out.
Right. Well, let's get back to that now. I don't know what that means.
No, we're not going back to it. I just want you made a statement about something that I said, and I'm just clarifying. That's not what I'm saying.
There was no.
Now let me answer your question.
Well, no. I got
to.
I got to follow up to what you said. First of all, I thought we were past the statistics part, but if you feel the need to bring it up again because of what I said, I don't understand why you're bringing it up, because I asked you about voters.
Because you're saying that you said that I feel that the voters are reliable.
Right.
Right.
Don't you say
said that, right?
Right.
So what I said is, right, the numbers went out.
Are the voters reliable?
The voters are human.
Are the voters reliable? It's a simple question. It's a simple question.
No one's ever won the award.
It's a simple question.
100%.
It's a simple question. Are the voters reliable?
I can't answer that because I don't know the voters.
Okay. This whole phone call, well, I shouldn't say the whole phone call. For most of the phone call, you have been trying to make the case that, hey, the voters are reliable, they're experts, they got a journalism in college, and so on. And now when I ask you, are they experts, you say, well, I don't know if they are or not.
No, but I did say that. I said they're the experts. They get paid to do it. Stop me when I'm wrong when I didn't say something I said. All of that I said.
So they're reliable.
But no, I never said they weren't. I said they're the experts. They get paid to do it. And I assume, right? And I assume, meaning me, that I used them.
So then I can say to you two things. You decide whichever one you want to address, or you can address both of them if you like, obviously. One, that means you are relying on them. Two, why are you relying on them?
Okay, now I can answer that question. One, I do base my opinion on the sports writers and the people who cover the sport who use statistics.
Can I just follow up real quickly to that?
Yes.
Thank you. Real quick. One, it's not an opinion. Two, then the answer to my question is you are relying on them.
But if you say I am relying on them, what am I relying on?
Well, clearly, if you say you base it on what they're telling you and you're going by them and you think they're experts.
Based on what are they telling me? But I said what I based it on.
No, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't matter what it is, because at the end of the day, when I ask you,
because numbers don't lie, sir.
At the end of the day,
the sports writers and columnists,
we are going in a big circle. We are going in a big circle.
No, we're not, because
you're
not saying what I'm saying. There's people who talk and use statistics.
You're not getting.
And then there's people.
You're not getting me.
I don't.
The reason it doesn't matter what you're relying on is because I'm first just trying to establish, are they reliable? Do you rely on them? That's what I'm trying to establish. Then you can get into why later.
But I told you I rely on the commentators, writers, the people who cover the sport, who use statistics.
Okay, so you don't go by people who don't go by statistics.
I don't.
Okay, so you only go by statistics.
I do.
Okay, that's fair enough. So, do all the people who vote for an award, do they all go by statistics only?
I say they do not.
Okay, so do you rely on the voters when it comes to who they vote for?
I think the voters who vote statistically, and again, I'll say this, we can go over the MVP numbers for years, and we will see statistically the one who won the award scattered out the best.
Okay, let's try this again. So we're going in a circle. When it comes to every award that every voter ever voted for, have all the awards based on statistics? Have all the voters gone by statistics?
And I said no.
Okay, so you can't have it both ways. If you say to me that you go by statistics and you go by voters who go by statistics, fine. If you say to me that you don't go by voters who don't go by statistics, fine. But you can't say to me, I go by voters who go by statistics, but I don't. But no, all the voters don't go by statistics.
Because all the voters don't go by statistics.
Then why are you going by any?
I mean, and that's evident because no one has ever won the award unanimously.
Okay. When it comes to every award out there, Rookie of the Year, all MVP of the All-Star Game, NBA Finals MVP, all the awards, you A, don't know who's going by statistics. B, you don't know what statistics they're going by. C, you don't know if they're consistent with their own criteria. And I could give you more examples, but you get the point.
And what I'm saying is, when we look statistically at the winners, statistically they were the best players in the game.
Okay, so then you are saying, I don't know why you won't just say yes to this question. You are saying no matter who is voting, no matter how they vote, no matter what no matter how consistent they are and all that, they end up being right because the statistics end up proving they're right. You're saying it's a coincidence.
I am not saying that.
I don't know why you.
What I'm saying is, no, because that's not what I'm saying.
What's the
I'm
difference?
not going to let you say what I'm saying.
What's the difference?
I said what I'm saying. I'm clearly saying that statistics will always win out.
What does that mean?
And if
what does that mean? What does that
I'm
mean?
giving you a fact.
What does that mean?
I'm challenging.
What does that mean? The statistics
So what I'm
always win
doing
out?
is I'm challenging you. If we look at the winners of the awards, statistically, and we look at the names of the people who were up for the award, statistically, the winner will have the best stats.
Okay, so two quick questions. One, what does it mean when you say the statistics always win out? What does that mean? And number two,
so that means that basketball is categorized in categories, right? There's points, there's rebounds, there's assists, there's blocks, so on and so on and so on. Correct?
okay,
So those are the statistics I'm talking about.
okay, but when you
And
say
then we talk, and I'm not. So then there's also wins and losses, meaning for the team. And baseball is called WAR.
wait, I
Wins
thought you were talking about statistics from a player in a game or season or playoffs or whatever. You're talking about
No. So I'm
team wins
talking
and
about.
losses?
I'm talking about.
Also?
No. I'm talking. No, sir. All of those are statistics, right? Wins and losses
No,
are
they're
statistics,
not-
right?
see-
So when you count up,
No.
I didn't move the goalpost.
No, this
when
is-
we're talking about a player.
I didn't say you move the goalpost. I was going to say
Oh.
this is another reason I know you're a Michael Jordan fan, because what you guys do is you lump all the statistics together like they're all the same. Scoring, rebound.
Wait. So all statistics are counted for when they vote for a award.
Well, this is your belief, and I don't know if that's true, but it doesn't,
No. So,
it doesn't matter anyway.
No, that's not my belief.
It doesn't matter anyway because when you
But we can look at the award. So I challenge you. Let's look at the MVP's award.
but before we get to that,
And then we look at the wait, can I finish my point?
go ahead.
Because you called me a Michael Jordan fan.
You are
So
definitely
let's
a Michael
look
Jordan
at right. So let's look at the statistics of the MVPs and see if, in fact, statistics is what.
Okay. And we will definitely, if there's time, obviously.
We don't have to do it. We don't have to do it on this call right here.
Sure. No, I understand.
We don't have to do it on this call.
That's fine. I thank you for clarifying that. And basically, we can get into examples. But before we get into the examples, I want to understand two basic things here. I want to understand, one, what is your side? And two, are you being consistent? So here are my questions. If you're saying to me the statistics statistics mean points, rebounding, assists, all that. And then you talk about teams, wins, and losses as statistics. Those are two separate things. You know that.
So I don't know if you know this.
In other words, they're not the same statistics.
So points is not the same as rebounds.
No, that's not. Again, when you talk about points, rebounds, assists, and all that, okay, that's one thing right there, the game. And then you talk about teams, wins, and losses. Yeah, they're all statistics, but they're not the same statistics. Actually, I don't even know if wins and losses are statistics, but let's just say they are for the sake of argument. They're not all the same kind of statistics, and you're lumping them all in together.
Because this determines the winner.
What is
of
that?
the award.
I don't. But then you're proving my point. My point earlier to you, and I think this is one of the reasons we didn't understand each other when you were talking about statistics winning out, and I gave you examples of how they go by other things. And one of the examples I gave was how they might think one player's on a losing team, one's on a winning team. One player, had it easier to have better statistics. One player had it harder to have better statistics. I was showing you examples of what they go by teams.
Right, but did I deny those things?
You disagreed with me, or you said I never heard of those things.
I did not deny any of those things.
You said I don't.
Did not deny
No. I remember this clearly. You said to me, "Oh, I never heard people say those kind of things."
No. I think we got into something about roofing.
I don't know what that
where
is.
I said I never. Right, when we were talking about Babe Ruth.
No, I'm talking about when I told you examples of how some people go by other things. You were saying, those examples I gave of what they go by.
Right, you were talking about bias. You talked about bias.
No, like for example, in this specific example, I'm talking about when I said how some people say, "Oh, this player, he had an easier time to get good statistics because he's on a losing team, and this player didn't win a ring, but that player had a harder time getting good statistics because he had a better team, and hey, he won a ring." You said to me something like, "I never heard people saying those things."
I don't recall saying anything like that.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
About that specific thing right there,
Okay.
because I watched the game of basketball, so I know people who play for bad teams may score a lot of points.
Okay, so
why would I argue that?
Okay, fair enough. If you don't recall it, that's fine. Like you said earlier, and I said it too, it's all on tape then. So let's try this. So you do acknowledge that people who vote go by other things that are not just how a player did with his statistics. You acknowledge that, right?
So I believe I said I acknowledge that, but statistics are the main factor, is what I said.
Points, rebounds, assists, and all those things are not the same as teams' wins and losses.
So what I said is, it's not the same, but it's all calculated together.
Right, and if that's true, and you're right, they do that. That was my point. That was one of my points earlier. That's another reason why they're not reliable, because they're taking individual accomplishments and mixing it in with team accomplishments. Wins and losses are not going to determine who's better.
Wins and losses have a lot to do with individuals.
Yes, but not one individual.
Do you disagree? Wait. Do you disagree?
Not one individual. You're talking about another topic. I'm not talking about individuals.
No, okay. Well, let's use this, right? Because you say I'm a Michael Jordan fan.
No doubt.
From you, that's what you said, right?
Yep, no doubt. You are.
From 91 to 93, who won the NBA Finals?
Are you asking me about a guy or a team?
No, what team won the NBA Finals from 91 to 93?
A team, the Chicago Bulls.
Okay, thank you.
All right, real quickly.
Wait. Can I finish my thought?
No, real quickly. You asked me a question. I'm going to ask you a question. From 1985 to 1990, which team won the NBA Finals?
From 85 to 90?
Yeah. In other words, you don't have to.
No, I'm gonna tell you. The Lakers, the Celtics, and the Pistons.
Well, you don't have to answer each one. In other words, if you're going to give me the argument,
I answered from 85 to 90 who won the NBA Finals. So when I was finishing, sir, I was going to say who won the NBA Finals in 94 and 95.
When you asked me who won the finals from 1991 to 1993, and then I said to you who won from 1984 to 1990, what I wanted to say to you was, you're going to
85 to 90.
85 to 90, whatever it was. When my point that I was trying to make on that point, I didn't need you to list every first team, but okay, you did it fine. It was not a big deal.
No, but you asked me. That was a question. Was that a question or not?
Don't you think I understand I asked you? I'm trying to tell you what happened. Okay. I said you didn't have to answer it. I didn't need you to, but it's okay that you did. It's not a problem. What I'm saying to you was, I was just trying to show you that when you asked me about 1991 to 1993, I know where you're going with that, about the Bulls and the best player and Michael Jordan and all that. So you could do the same logic and say from 1985 to 1990, that same guy on that same team didn't win and things like that.
Is that your question to me?
You don't get my point? It's a point, not a question. Don't. Okay. All right. Well, then you want me to explain it again? It wasn't a question. It was a point. I mean, do you want me to explain it again?
So your point is not hitting home, because what I'm stating was, right, a player can make a difference on a team.
And I already knew that.
An individual player.
I already know that. And that same player lost. That's my point. You're not getting it.
No, but we're not. No. See, I'm not talking about him individually. I said an individual player. I used him because I know most people are more familiar with the Michael Jordan years.
I understand.
Than me going back to the 80s or the 70s.
I totally
so
understand.
So if I would have said born in 77 and 78,
I got you.
might not know that.
I understand what you're saying, and I'm saying the same.
So I was trying to be fair in the conversation.
I understand what you're saying. I'm with you, man. I'm saying to you, my answer doesn't change, because if you're trying to show me that guy in the example you gave, because you wanted to be fair, because most people know about this, I'm saying to you that same guy was on the same franchise and lost a bunch of times, and it proves that you, by your logic, you can blame him for losing.
And what I'm saying is, you can blame him for losing.
But you don't do that.
I'm not disagreeing with that point.
You expect me to believe you blame him for losing? Do you expect me to believe? Do you expect me to believe that you blame Michael Jordan for losing?
That I blame him for losing? Of course you can believe that.
Okay.
Of course you can believe it.
Okay, all right. You blame Michael Jordan for losing. That's great. Go ahead.
Right, because in the early parts of his years, as I told you, when you said you can make an argument that he wasn't the greatest player in the game, I agreed with you. Didn't I? I said there is a point where he wasn't the greatest player in the game.
What's the difference between Michael Jordan scoring 30 points in the 1980s and scoring 30 points in the 1990s? And I'm not just talking about points. I just gave one example. There's other parts of the game also, which are pretty much the same.
So the difference is, when Michael Jordan was drafted into the league, he was drafted to a team that had a whole bunch of guys.
Ah, you're changing the argument.
No, you asked me. You asked me what was the difference.
I already know.
So how am I changing it? If you ask me what's the difference...
I'll tell you how. Because you're moving the goalpost. When Michael Jordan...
You said what was the difference.
I know that. And I'm trying to say... I know that. I heard you the first time saying that I said that. I asked you the question. I said it. I got you. I'm trying to tell you what the difference...
Well, so because you asked me the question, why
do you feel the need to repeat yourself? I understand. I asked the question. I brought it up. I did it.
No,
it's
but I'm saying, but do I at least get to answer the question before you interject?
But let me show you why you're moving the goalpost. Before you repeat yourself and say, I asked you, I brought it up, it's on me, I did it, we know. Let me show
got it, but can I at least answer the question? Can you at least be fair and allow me to answer before you can say, how are you going to say I moved the goalpost if you don't allow me to answer?
No, you said, you disputed with me, how did you move the goalpost? And I was trying to answer you and you kept telling me, oh, you brought up the question. You did it, it's on you then. You're the one who did it.
Go ahead.
So let me tell you all right. So here's how you're moving. Here's how you. What was that?
I'll take that.
All right.
I did ask.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Just as a reminder, just for here on out, remember, I'm paying attention to everything you say. Don't worry. If you say it once, there's a very good chance I got you. If, of course, as a human being, I might miss it, but don't worry, I got you most likely. And even if I didn't, the second time I got
right back at you.
It's okay.
And right back at you. The same thing.
Even if I missed it, the second time I got it, even if
I'm just saying, right back at you.
I heard you. Right when I say I'm getting you, you feel the need to repeat yourself again. Why do you keep doing this? I got you. I'm saying I was saying to you, even if I missed it, I'll get you the second time. Even if I missed it, I'll get you the third time, and so on. I'm trying to show you don't have to repeat yourself. And while I'm showing you this, you literally repeat yourself multiple times. And by the way, when you say you got me, can you hear me as well? Background noise. Can you hear me?
I said right back at you.
Right.
I didn't say I got you.
But why did you I know what you said. Yeah, I said when you say you heard me, what makes you think you need to tell me that? Because I haven't given you any clue that you have to tell me this. I'm paying attention to you.
I never said I heard you. What are you talking about?
You know, if you say to me, right back at you, I got you, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I heard you, I got you.
When I was saying right back at you, you know what I was saying?
What were we saying?
I was saying that same thing applies to you. Can you stop repeating yourself?
Right, but
you said the same thing about 4 or 5 times already.
But my
that's what right back at you meant.
I know what you meant. I got it right the first time. What makes you think I'm not getting
No,
you?
you didn't.
Yes, I'm telling you I did. I'm trying to tell you I know what you meant, and you still think I'm not paying attention to you. When you say right back at you, because I repeat myself, there's a lot of background noise. Are you busy?
There's no back.
There's a lot of background noise. I said it earlier too, which you apparently missed. Okay. Anyway,
I don't hear no. I mean, I don't know. But if you want to continue it later, that's fine too.
It's up to it's your call. But anyway, when you say right back,
You know what? Finish your point.
Yeah, thank you. When you say right back at you, I'm not saying I never repeated myself. Of course I did, but my repetition is not like yours. You'll interrupt me and say the same thing 4 times, but when I repeat myself, it's either because you asked me a question, or we didn't settle on something, or we're going, you took it the wrong way or something. Well, it's not an opinion.
I disagree.
It's not an opinion. I don't think you know what the word opinion is. It's a claim. I'm telling you this is how it happens.
Because I disagree. I believe that you've interrupted me, repeated yourself several times, saying the same things.
But there's
every time I've asked you to answer my question,
you're not
you said, "Well, no, I'm gonna go over this. I'm gonna go over that."
You're not getting me. You're not getting me.
Well, I disagree.
I'm not saying I never interrupted you. I'm not saying I didn't repeat myself. I'm saying there's a difference.
Could you ask the question? How about this? Just ask your question.
One difference is, if I heard you the first time and you tell me the same thing a second time and a third time and a fourth time, that's not the same thing as what I'm doing.
But how about just ask your question?
By the way, now you're doing what I was doing earlier. I was trying to get out of things and say, let's just get to it, and you didn't want to do it. Now when it's the other way around,
you're saying the same thing over and over again.
Now when it's the other way around, now you want to do it the way I wanted to do it earlier.
Because now I feel like how you said you felt.
Right, exactly. But because you didn't get what I'm saying, I'm going to establish this. Then the other thing,
right. You're establishing I didn't get it. I never said I didn't get it.
The other thing is,
when I don't get it,
a lot of times,
when I don't get it, I tell you I don't.
A lot of times when you interrupt me, a lot of times when you repeat yourself for things that are so obvious that everyone got, or you do it when you interrupt me, or sometime where it's like, why is he doing this? Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect. Okay, I've interrupted you. I've repeated myself, but I'm not doing it the way you do it. I don't do it the same level you do it. I do it in different ways, and so on. When I repeat myself and I get like this, it's because A, you either asked me a question, or B, you missed what I said, or C, we're going in a circle or something like that. Okay, so now we'll get back to the question.
You call it a circle.
No, it is a circle. No, you go in a circle a lot. But let's get back to the question, all right? So the question was basically, which I forgot now, I think it was along the lines of, when you were trying to tell me about who won between 1991 and 1993.
No, that's not what we were talking about. That's not what we were talking about.
Then we didn't settle that part. Can we settle that part?
No. What the question was you said that you thought I was saying that Michael Jordan was the reason, not being there, he won. So he didn't win, which meant it was his fault.
I wouldn't blame him, by the way.
30 points. What's the difference? I remember what it was. So what was the difference in him scoring 30 points in the 80s and scoring 30 points in the 90s?
And I also said other things that he did in the game. It's not just scoring, obviously.
Right. You said that, but so when I was answering that question, then you said that I'm moving the goalposts. Right. So then I said,
you missed something.
How did I move?
You missed something. I said the goalpost part after you brought up one of the differences, which was his teammates. And this is why I said you're moving the goalpost, because when it comes to him winning, you don't straight up say team is involved. You make it seem like let me finish. You didn't make it seem like, and I know you had more to say. I'm going by what you said so far. You were trying to show the point. Okay. The Bulls won. He was the main guy, and he had a big role, and players make big roles on their, players have an impact. So then I said to you, well, hold on. You could have said the same thing when he lost, but do you blame him for losing? And you said, yes, I do blame him for losing. And then I said, do you expect me to believe that you blame him for losing?
And I said,
yeah, you said yes, but I don't believe you. I don't think you blame him for losing.
Okay, but I blame. Listen, first of all, you go as far as the star is. So when you lose,
not true.
The weight goes to the star.
Not true.
100%.
This is another reason I know you're a Michael Jordan fan, because even though you're going to say that you know it's a team game, you guys do this strange two-part thing where you elevate a guy for the reason a team won, and then when a team loses, you don't blame a guy, even though you say you blame Michael Jordan.
But I just blamed him, so how could you...
Even though you say you blame Michael Jordan, aside from the fact I don't believe you, I'm pretty sure when it comes...
Can I explain my point?
Hang on. I said, even though I don't believe you that you blame him, even though that part is there, I'm pretty sure for all the other stars who ever played in the NBA, you don't individually blame them every time they lost.
Yes, I definitely do.
Okay, if you do this, if you put it on a guy for winning, and
Can you name a team that?
hold on. I was asking you a question. If you put it on a guy for winning and you put it on a guy for losing, then by your logic, he lost more times than he won. So by your logic, he has no case to be the number one NBA player of all time.
No, sir.
No? Okay, go ahead.
In baseball, the star fails. you hit 3 out of 10 times, which is 30%, and you're a star.
That's not exactly true, but okay.
That's not true in baseball?
There's a lot of people who hit over 300 and they're not big stars.
Who?
Okay, let's see here. Well, first of all, if I name you some names, we're going to get into a whole definition of what counts as a star. You know that.
No, what? Name somebody.
I said, before I name you some names, it's going to get into a whole definition of what counts as a star.
If you say who it is, then I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, so if I name people who hit over 300 and I say to you they're not stars, you're going to accept it?
That's your opinion. I would accept it.
Well, but if it's an opinion, why would you accept it? It's an opinion. It doesn't mean I'm right or wrong. It's like me telling you.
Because you have a right to your opinion. But I said if somebody hits 3 out of 10 times in baseball, they're a star. No, you said no, that's not true. But so name me someone who wasn't.
I will. The reason I sometimes don't go directly into comparing and like giving you examples, there's 2 reasons I don't do this. And I'm going to do it. Don't worry. Okay, you're going to get your answers. But the reason
I'm almost certain that you're not.
Even when I say to you, clearly I'll do it, and you're going to get your answers, you have to feel the need to point the finger at me and say, you're almost certain I'm not going to do it. Are you listening to yourself?
I'm almost certain.
Okay. I'm almost certain. Anyway, what I was going to say was, this is another reason why I know you're a Michael Jordan fan. Because you people do this weird thing where anytime someone doesn't pick a guy, you guys always go, who do you pick? I need to know. I need to compare Michael Jordan to him. Give me someone to have a chart with.
This is not comparing.
I know, but there's more. There's more. You're not comparing it right now.
That's not the greatest example.
There's more to the story. Right now, you're not doing it. You asked me, name some baseball players who hit over 300 who are not stars. But the reason I still say what I just said is because 2 things. One, earlier in the call, you were asking me for some comparisons. The second thing you did was, for awards, you wanted some examples of who won the award and who wasn't reliable and which voting was close. And then third...
Can I interject here?
And then third... For the baseball,
I want to answer that point.
Well, you remember this last one.
Well, no. But remember, you said we can go point for point. I want to break in here.
If you want, go ahead.
But I want to break in.
I said if you want, go ahead. Okay, you're not listening again. I was just saying the reason I wanted to finish. I'm not going to finish. Don't worry. I'm not going to make my third point. The reason.
You know what? Finish.
No. I said I'm not going to.
Finish, please.
You're again repeating yourself. I heard you say please 3 times already. We can't have a conversation. You keep repeating yourself. I heard you the first time.
No.
The reason. That's
fine. When I talk, I repeat myself.
But you pointed the finger at me for repeating and you didn't agree with me when I said you repeat.
But I never said. I just said right back at you.
All right. Anyway, the reason I wanted to finish my third point, I know what we agreed to. The reason was because I thought in this phone call, there have been plenty of times where you made one point and you wanted to finish making your whole point and I waited. So I thought you could make an exception to it.
No, sir. When you ask me, can you interject? I even sometimes said, you're right. Go ahead.
You're not getting me. I didn't say it never happened. I know you let me finish. I'm saying there were times where sometimes you were like, well, let me finish my point. I'm going to tie it all in together. There's a whole thing here and all that. And I let you finish. So I thought maybe you could do the same thing, make an exception here since I had one more point.
Can we hear the playback together?
Okay. Anyway, you can play the whole,
I want to hear these
you
things.
can play the whole tape and then you can deny everything that happened. That's what a lot of Michael Jordan fans do. So,
No.
So I'll make it up to you. I'll make it up to you.
Finish your point.
No, you can go ahead. I'm just trying to show you a pattern of how you Michael Jordan fans always need specific examples to compare your things. Because the reason you guys do this,
I'm a sports fan. You said you was going to let me break it. I'm a sports fan.
You just kept saying finish.
No, you said you was going to let me break it. Now you're going to let me break it or not?
Are you joking with me or being serious? Come on, man. Are you joking or being serious? You just said
you said you were going to let me break it.
You just said over and over and over and over. Finish your point. Finish your point. Finish your point. Finish your point. And when I kept saying, I was trying to wrap it up.
You kept saying no.
Yes, but because you kept it going, I said, fine. Let me just. I won't finish my point, but let me just explain something.
Okay.
Then when I explain something, you're like, well, aren't you going to let me go in?
You're right.
Which one is it?
I agree. You're right. Can I finish my point?
Sure.
Thank you. So, the point was this. The reason I asked you to provide specific examples, because as a sports fan, that's what we do. Sports fans compare.
Wrong. Now let me interject here now.
Yes.
No, wrong. Let me interject here. I heard you say compare twice. Twice I got it. Compare. I got it the first time, got it the second time. No, sports fans compare as a general rule. Hey, you pick Jerry West? No, I pick Elgin Baylor. Oh, really? Why do you pick Elgin Baylor and Jerry West? And then they get into it and that's it. What you guys do is different. Let me tell you what you guys do. And I'm not saying you did all these examples, okay? Don't say I'm accusing you of doing all these things. I'm trying to show you.
No, I'm not saying.
Okay, I know. I just want to make sure. I'm trying to show you a pattern and how you're in the atmosphere of what Michael Jordan fans do. A lot of Michael Jordan fans have this mindset. Hey, I need you to pick a guy so I can prove to you that my guy is better than your guy. And the reason you guys want to do this is because you know you have no proof to prove Michael Jordan is the greatest. So what you want to do is you want me to make it easier for you. So you want me to pick someone so you can say, okay. He picks that guy. Now all I got to do is prove why Michael Jordan is better than that guy and I win the argument. And what you guys don't understand is you don't win the argument. All you're doing is supposedly proving Michael Jordan is better than that guy. And then if someone doesn't give you a guy, the way you guys react, it's like this. Oh, you're not going to tell me who you pick. Oh, you don't know your NBA. Oh, do you pick LeBron James? I bet you do. You don't want us to know. You're hiding it and all that. And
can I interject now?
Well, if you want, go ahead. But go ahead. That's fine. Go ahead. There was more.
Because I get the point. I get the point.
Okay, go ahead.
But what I asked you, the last question that we asked about
Baseball
the player.
300.
Baseball 300.
Right. And I was trying to show you.
Had nothing to do with
I got you. And now we're going to go.
Wait. Can I finish? Or no?
You said it had nothing to do, and I got your point, man. You're going to tell me the same thing again? The reason.
So go ahead, because you see here what it is. You don't allow me to finish my thought.
So now you're going to play victim if I don't let you finish. Go ahead, finish your point.
No, there's no victim.
No, go
there's
ahead.
Definitely no victim.
Finish your point. I let you finish lots of points. You don't let me finish many times. But go ahead.
So because I don't, go ahead. That's what I said.
Now, if I start doing it, are you going to tell me, hey, you said I could finish my point? You're not going to do that, are you?
No. Go.
Okay.
Go.
Yes.
Please.
When you brought up the baseball 300 thing, I acknowledged to you that was not the same thing. I admitted that to you. The reason I still said what I said, I was trying to show you a pattern in this whole phone call. The phone call, at one point you said, give me some examples about voting being close or not close. Another example was in the All-Star game, give me an example of why they vote for Michael Jordan. Another example was, let's go over the MVPs or whatever award. Let's go over some statistics. We'll find out which player deserved the award and which one didn't. And then the baseball thing came up. Name me a player who had over 300 and was a star. You guys need people to dumb it down and go to individual comparisons because you feel like you can't prove you're right, so you want to compare because at that point, now all you have to do is beat me on a guy versus a guy. And what you're not getting is, even if I acknowledge that players hit 300 and they're stars, and the MVP thing, and the voting thing, and all that, even if I acknowledge that you're right, all you're doing at that point is proving that Michael Jordan is supposedly better than that guy. Do you see the pattern that you guys do?
So now I want to interject,
all
right? Because you made the point,
sure,
right?
No.
So now what I'm saying to you is, as someone who follows sports, when you're talking to someone, right,
mm-hmm.
and you're trying to drive a point home about someone's superiority over the others, you have to put them up against each other.
No, that's what you guys believe.
You have to line them all up.
You guys believe
that. You definitely have to line them up.
Okay, let me interject here. If I said to you that this donut is the greatest donut of all time, I don't need to compare that donut to every donut. I just need to prove it's the greatest of all time. If you said this is the greatest nation of all time or the greatest movie of all time and so on, you don't have to individually compare each one because you...
I disagree. To say that something is the greatest...
Hold on.
You have to compare it to something.
Hold on. All you have to do is prove that that's the greatest, and that's it. Now, you disagree, and that's okay.
You can't prove it's the greatest without comparing what is greater than.
Hang on. But you disagree, and that's okay. What you're not getting is two things. One, even if you prove that that movie and that donut and that nation and so on is better than whoever you compare to, what you're not getting is you're not proving it's the greatest. You're proving it's better than the one you compare to. And two, the only people who feel like this has to be done are you Michael Jordan fans.
Never, sir. People who watch these games, or even food comparisons, you compare it up against the food. If this is the greatest, then we have to put it up against all the food.
No, you don't. Why would you have to do that?
Yes. Because it's the greatest.
All right, let me ask you a question.
And I'm going to prove it's the greatest by knocking down all the other food.
Let me ask you a question. Suppose I buy what you say, that most fans do this. It's not just you guys. And that the reason you guys do this is because you have to compare one to all of them. Suppose I agree with you. Here's a simple question. Do you expect me to believe that you not only found a way to get every criteria from every star who ever played in the NBA, but that you actually found a way to prove that one guy was better than everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, well then you're a liar. I'm sorry, I'm going to call you a liar.
So wait, you called me a liar.
I had
to call me a liar.
Yes. Earlier I didn't call you a liar because earlier I didn't call you a liar.
That was an attack.
Earlier I didn't call you a liar. Earlier, I didn't call you a liar because I was trying to say, okay, if he really blames Michael Jordan for losing, fine.
No, but you did call me a liar, correct?
Yes. Can I finish what I was saying? Yes, I called you a liar. Yes, I called you a liar. Yes, I called you a liar. Can I just tell you something, please?
Can I retort to that?
No, but you asked me. But you asked me something. You said, so you called me a liar? I said yes, and then I was following up to that.
You said yes. Now I want to respond to that.
Okay, go ahead.
So first of all, you don't know me to call me a liar.
And you don't know me when...
Okay. First of all, let me answer the question.
No, you said I don't know you, so now we're going to keep... No,
you said yes.
Hold on.
So now I want to respond to that.
A quick timeout. If I have to stop because I said one word yes, then you have to stop when you made one sentence. Is that fair?
Fair enough.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so now, earlier you attacked me when I told you that, hey, I'm going to list some examples, don't worry, and you said to me, I don't think you're going to do it.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
You said that, or you doubt I was going to do it?
No, I said I highly doubt it.
Right. So you're kind of questioning me, so you're calling me a liar, essentially.
But I never said the word you're a liar.
So that's the criteria? It's okay to imply someone's a liar, but don't call them a liar.
Right. No. I can, because implications doesn't mean that's what I'm saying.
Okay, but you're still...
You can take it that way. You can take it the way, right? You can take it, but that doesn't mean that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so I got you. I acknowledge it's not the same thing, but that doesn't mean it's that much different.
But You can take it any way you want.
And
I didn't say
okay,
it.
all right. But I think it's
You actually said it.
But I think when you do something like that, and that's okay, that's what you want to do if you want. But if you do,
Right, that's your opinion. That's your opinion.
I still didn't finish anything. What do you mean my opinion? I didn't finish anything. What opinion? I haven't given you any opinion. I'm saying to you, if you can do something like that, it makes no sense for you to then play victim and say, "Oh, it's a personal attack. You're calling me a liar."
No. First of all, what I said was, right? You said I'm going to do it, and I said I highly doubt it, and I base it on the fact that I've yet to get a name or anything that I asked.
Let me follow up. Let me follow up to that. Let me follow up to that. That's a stupid thing to base it on, because the reason I didn't give you a lot of specifics were two reasons. One, I explained how you Michael Jordan fans are. I wanted to show a pattern. And two, we went over other things. We had a lot of other things we were going over.
Your opinion that is stupid? It's just that.
No, you're not.
But I'm telling you, you did not answer anything that I asked. So the reason for my doubt is based on the fact that I have yet to get a specific question.
I'm going to repeat myself again. If you and I are going over a lot of different things, we're stuck on those things, we're going in a circle, we're not settled and all that, it doesn't make sense for you to ignore the fact that we're going over this area and then say, well, since you didn't give me an answer for other things, I think you're not going to do it. And then also, I told you the other reason was because I was trying to show a pattern of how you Michael Jordan fans are.
And I doubted that, right? I doubt that. That's my point. Is why I said I highly doubt that you're going to answer the question.
But I don't understand.
That's what I based it on.
I don't understand.
So when I said that,
I got you. I got you, dude. I got you. I got you.
What I said.
I got you. You don't have to. I know.
And I got you too.
No, you don't got me. No, you're not repeating yourself. Now you're just saying it in different ways. No, you're not getting me. No, because look, you haven't given me an answer. Forget about the Michael Jordan fan stuff. Okay, forget about the part I'm saying. I'm trying to make a point about how you Michael Jordan fans are. Let's put that to the side. How about this one? If we're talking about different things and going in a circle and not finishing our points and all that, and we're still on those things, why would you ignore that and make it seem like I'm just ducking and dodging and dismissing and downplaying?
So when someone asks someone a specific, when you ask me a specific question, I gave you my answer.
Not all the time.
Every time.
Not all the time.
I either said I don't know. I don't agree,
okay.
or I gave you the answer to the best of my knowledge.
And I told you, and I told you, if you want, I have examples, and I'll give them to you later. But first, let's go over this part. Let's settle this. Let's finish this and all that.
See, that's not how this works.
Okay, so you can say to me. No, I'm trying to understand this. No, I'm trying to understand a lot. You can say to me, I don't know, I'm not sure, I have to do more research or whatever, but I can't say to you, hey.
But you didn't say that.
But hey, hold on, I didn't say I said that. I'm asking you, but I can't say to you, hey, I'll give you an answer later, but let's first finish this.
Well, because we lose perspective. If I'm asking you a question, I'm not going to remember the follow-up.
Let me tell you what's really.
Why we can't answer? Why can't questions be answered as they're asked?
Let me tell you what's really happening here. Okay, because you know you're not exactly winning. You are nitpicking on small, silly things.
You're losing,
and you want to act like, oh, I got something on him. He didn't answer my question, so I'm going to assume he's not going to answer it, and I'm going to hold it against him and make a big deal out of it.
It's always we'll get to that.
I don't understand.
We'll get to that.
I don't understand.
We'll get to that.
So, by the way, even if I answered your question, let's say I answered it, you could have said to me, oh, hey, dude, you went to this topic, but you ducked and dodged the other topics.
But we will never know because you didn't answer it.
Okay, so then the question becomes, why didn't I answer it?
So let's do this.
Let's not do this. Since you want to nitpick and make a big deal out of nothing, I'd like to know something here. When I don't answer your precious questions, why do you think I'm not answering them? Do you think I'm scared, I'm dodging, I'm frightened, or what?
I don't know what it is.
Well, I'm telling
I
you
just
the
want an
reason.
answer.
I'm telling you the reason. The reason
No,
I didn't
that's
answer.
not-
The reason I didn't answer them was because we were on other topics. And I wanted to settle those
So then
first.
how did the question come out if we're not on that topic?
Do you expect me to have everything in front of me right now, the whole call? I don't know what happened. You know, when we're talking about things, we're not finished,
What I'm
we're
saying
not
is,
settled,
when
we're
these
going in a
questions
circle
that I asked
and all
came
that.
up,
And then it's
when
okay.
the
It's okay.
questions that-
It's okay if you ask me the
Go ahead
question.
and talk. Go ahead and talk, 'cause you're not gonna let me
It's
talk.
okay. No, you're not letting me talk here. You're ignoring what I'm saying, and you're casting aspersions on me and acting
Because that's
like
what you're doing to me.
First, you make it seem like I'm dodging you on purpose because I'm losing and I don't have an answer. Then you make it seem like the reason I don't answer is because you don't know why. So you're not even sure why I'm not answering. But I clarified to you.
First of all, I never said. I told you why.
I clarified multiple times that I will answer your questions, but I'd like to first finish this, and I'd like to go one topic at a time. And you never had you never had a problem with that. This whole phone call, the only time you had a problem was when you realized you were losing. That's when you had a problem with it.
The reason when I realized, can I get in now? When I realized, right, that you were continuously, every time we're on the topic, the question is based on the topic.
Are you still not getting me? If we're not on one finish, if we're going in a circle and we're not settled, then why do I have to get? Why do I have to? No, I don't understand. So okay, then if that's the case, then maybe you're to blame because you want to change topics when you're losing.
That's what a loser would say.
That's what you do.
No, I answered your question.
Let me ask you something.
You failed to answer anything I asked.
Now you're back to accusing me of never answering anything. Now you're back to accusing me of never answering. Now you're back to repeating yourself, and now you're back to accusing me of never. Now you're back to accusing me of never answering your questions. Are you listening to yourself?
Are you sure you're not a Michael Jordan fan?
And by the way, I'm not repeating myself the way you are. You're repeating yourself. I'm just repeating myself.
Are you sure you're not a Michael Jordan
because
fan?
you're going in a circle. And by the way, I know what you're doing. Now, I was asking you earlier if you're joking. Now I got my answer. So you're joking because you're losing and you can't handle it. You have a pride issue, and you know what, Bo? You're not that smart. I can tell. So let's go back to the topic here. I'd like to understand. To answer your question, I'm not. And to answer your question, because I don't want to get accused of not answering your questions. I'm not a Michael Jordan fan, and you are. And I won't even ask you if you are, because I know you are. But let's get back to the thing. Let's get back to the thing. And by the way, right. I never answered any question. That's right. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. If I didn't answer any question, you're worse. Trust me on this. There's a lot of questions you didn't answer, and you go in circles and you move the goalposts and contradict yourself.
Tell me one.
Now, if I do that, no, but I want to finish my point.
Tell me one.
No, I want to finish my point. I want to finish my point.
That is your point. Right. Tell me one question.
When someone is in the middle of something and they're not settled and they're going in a circle and all that, and they say to you, hey, I'll answer your question later, but let's first finish this. Let's settle on this. Let's get to this and all that. Why is that a bad thing?
Is that a question to me?
No, it's a question for the other guy. Of course it's for you. Stop playing it. Stop playing victim. Seriously. Why is it a bad thing?
So the problem that I see with it is this. When we're talking about something, questions arise. So when you're asked a question, it should be answered on point so that we can move on to something else.
Says who?
Right, because what happens is we're not at a desk. I'm not at a desk where I'm writing down what I'm asking you. So I'm not going to remember if we move on or move away from it.
Now, I could say to you a couple things you want to consider. Since we're not shouting, let's be open-minded here. That's your opinion on how a debate should be, and you can believe whatever you want. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with you asking a question. There's nothing wrong with someone answering your question. And there's nothing wrong with someone saying, I'll get to it later. And there's nothing wrong with someone saying, let's finish this first. The problem is when you act like what I'm doing is not reasonable, and then you make it seem like, hey, bro, I don't think you're going to answer it. You lost the debate. You know what? You make it seem like I'm scared and things like that. That's the problem.
I never said. First of all, that was you saying that. I was just.
You didn't say any of those things or imply any of those things?
No, I said I was repeating what you were saying. You said I'm doing this because I lost, and I just said yes, I'm doing that because you're doing it because you.
No, but there's a clear.
So I just repeated what you said.
There's a clear.
So I just repeated what you said.
But it's not the same. It's not the same thing.
So when I ask a question,
you have a bad habit of mixing in everything like they're all the same. Yes, I did those things. I did those things too, but they're not the same. The difference between what I did, and I'm not writing things down either. But if you're going to tell me,
right, so how are we moving on?
So
we can't get to each other's point.
When you say how are we moving on, we were doing it fine for most of the phone call until you played victim and got emotional.
There were no real questions being asked.
I asked you
when
plenty.
You started asking questions.
Now you're saying to me no questions were asked. I didn't ask you any questions.
No, that's not what I said. I said there were no real questions being asked, and what I really meant was I never got a chance to ask you any questions.
So since you have your own criteria of how you think a conversation should go, let me remind you a couple of things. One, you didn't have a problem when I said to you, let's try to go one thing at a time. You only had a problem with this when you started losing. Two, I want you to acknowledge, I hope, you don't have to acknowledge this.
We were going,
I hope you acknowledge, two. Let me get a two. No, because you want to say a lot of long things. I want to say a lot of long things too. No, but you don't follow the rules, so I'm not going to follow the rules. Two, I want to point out something else here, that basically...
So now you don't follow the rules.
No, you don't follow the rules. Two, I want to point out, if you want to say this is my criteria for a conversation, you should have told me in the beginning, my criteria for a conversation is no matter what the topic is, no matter if we're finished, no matter if we're settled or whatever, when I ask a question, it must be answered. You should have told me this was your rule, Your Majesty. And number three, there were plenty of times. No, you didn't. Number three, there were plenty of times I asked you a question and you didn't answer my question. And last but not least, if you're going to tell me that you have a criteria of a conversation, well, I can play it both ways and say to you that I have a criteria, which is this. Sometimes, it's not always my criteria, but sometimes if two people are not finished and not settled and they're going in a circle and all that, there's nothing wrong if someone says, hey, I'll answer this question later, but let's finish this first.
And I'm saying, right, that the topics that we were talking about, the questions were based on that topic.
And I'm saying we weren't finished on certain things.
So, but what I'm saying is the question was based on the topic.
And I'm saying we weren't finished on certain things.
Well, we couldn't get finished because we couldn't get past.
That's not true.
You asked me something. When I asked you something,
I don't know why you.
I'll get back to it.
I don't know why you think.
I will answer you.
I don't know why you think we couldn't get past it, because number one, we theoretically. Well, hang on. Because number one, it is possible to get past it, and number two, we were getting past it. It was moving along. It was fine for the most part.
Until I started asking you a question.
No, even when you asked me a question and I didn't give you an answer right away.
I
heard you.
As long as you were asking the questions,
I heard you. Even when you did.
I don't think you did.
Even when you did ask me a question, which shows you I heard you, and we were still moving it along. It was fine then.
We were not moving along because every time it happened.
You know why?
Because, are you going to answer my question?
I'll tell you why. Because you knew you were losing and you wanted to find something to make yourself feel like you were winning on.
Matter of fact, you're making it seem like I won that way. Because all I asked is...
Well, let me remind you something. Let me remind you something, and I want to see how you get out of this one. There were plenty of times where I said to you, hey, I'll answer your question if you like. I have some examples, but I want to be fair to you and give you time. It's up to you if you want to go on this topic or another, or go back to the other topic. You didn't say to me, okay, bro, go ahead, answer.
I did say that.
No, that's not true.
I said answer my question.
No, that's not true.
I
remember there were a couple of times. Where I said to you, I have answers for that, and if you want, I'll answer it right now. But I want to be fair to you and give you time, and it's up to you if you want to finish this topic first.
Give me time to what? If I ask you a question, What time are you giving me?
I was wondering how you're going to get out.
That makes no sense.
I was wondering how.
That makes no sense.
I heard you the first time. Stop that. We can't have. We're already interrupting each other and getting annoyed and wasting time. You don't have to make it worse by repeating yourself.
I actually enjoy this.
Okay. You're not. Okay, that's great. You're not annoyed. In other words, we're already having negativity.
Oh, wait. Are you annoyed?
We're already having negativity, so don't make it worse by repeating the same thing I heard. Okay.
You call me.
To answer your question, I'm not annoyed. I'm very happy. Are you annoyed? Okay, there's no negativity. That's good. Okay, now you're going to play games. Okay. Anyway, so let's go back to this. How do you explain? How do you explain? If I was someone who didn't want to answer your questions, and you think it's because I don't have an answer and I'm losing, and all the stupid things you came up with, if that's the case, how do you?
No, you came up.
No, you said those. You implied those things, and you said some of those things. I'm asking you now. If that's the case, how do you explain that I clearly said to you, I have answers and I'm willing to answer them right now if you want, but do you want to finish this topic first? And I want to give you more time.
So you're asking me to explain what you're saying?
Let's try this again. If I'm ducking and dodging and downplaying and dismissing, and the reasons I'm doing this is because whatever you think, I don't have an answer, I'm losing, I'm scared, or whatever you think is a reason or reasons, why would I say to you, I have answers and I'm happy to answer them right now, but do you want to finish this topic first? And I want to be fair to you and give you more time.
And I answered that by saying, it's total nonsense. Because if someone asks you a question,
no, you're not getting my question. You're not getting my question. Let's try this again. Maybe I didn't explain it properly.
I don't need to hear it again.
At the time.
I don't need to hear it again.
At the time, in the past, not right now.
But I don't need to hear it again.
I heard you three times. I heard you 3 times say I don't need to hear it again. It's apparently you do. At the time, we had issues where you were out. Right now, we had issues, yes. But earlier in the call, when there was not that many issues and you were just asking me a regular question, if I was avoiding your question for whatever reason, okay, whatever the reason is, I'm scared, I'm losing, I don't have an answer, or whatever you think in your mind that I'm avoiding your questions about, why would I say these 4 things? 1, I have answers. 2, I'll give you the answers right now if you want it. 3, the reason I'm not giving the answers is because, hey, do you want to first finish this topic first? And 4, hey, I'm not giving you answers because I want to be fair and give you time.
Here's one.
All right.
1, I did say answer my question. 2, you kept saying,
that's not what I'm asking you. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm not asking you that.
No, but I'm telling you what happened.
I'm asking you something else. Why would I do those things?
What happened?
I'm asking you why would I
care.
I'm asking you logically. Then that's the problem. You don't care. You're not going by logic.
I'm telling you the fact.
You're not going by. Listen. If someone
did not answer the question,
let's go. But we'll get to that in a second. Let's go by logic. If someone is not answering your question because they're scared, or they know they're losing, or they don't have an answer or whatever, they wouldn't say to you, yeah, I got an answer, and yeah, I'll answer it right now if you want me to. And hey, the reason I'm not answering, hang on, and they wouldn't say to you, and they wouldn't say to you, hey, the reason, hey, do you want to first finish this topic first before we get to this? And they wouldn't say, and they wouldn't say to you, hey, the other reason I'm not answering it right away is because I want to make sure. The reason I'm asking you if you want me to answer right now or not is because I want to be fair to you and give you time. They wouldn't say they wouldn't say those 4 things. Do you get that?
But no, they would, because that's stalling.
Okay, so you think
if someone asks you a question, so then that means
that means if you think the reason I did those 4 things is not the real reason I'm not answering your question, that means you must think in your mind that either I'm being fake, or I'm a liar, or I'm scared, or something like that.
So want me to tell you what it was I thought?
Well, you said you don't know. Now you know. You said you don't know. Now you said you don't know. Now you know.
No. You didn't ask me what I thought.
No, I did. I did ask you what you thought. I asked you why. You said I don't know. You said to
You
me.
said,
No, you
why
said to
would you do
you
that? I
said
don't
to
know why
me.
you would do it.
You said to me I don't know, and you said to me I don't care.
I don't know why you would do it.
And you said I don't
Now,
care.
you wanna know
And
what
you
I
said I
thought?
don't know. So now you're saying you know.
Now, do you want to know what I thought the reason was?
Oh, you have a guess. Okay, go ahead.
Right, this is a guess. I don't know.
Why would you guess these
But
things?
what I'm guessing is, right, the first time you were just eluding my question.
Okay.
As we went on, I thought, well, maybe he don't know the answers.
All right, so this is what I'm saying. I was right. You're coming to these silly conclusions. I'm telling you the reasons over and over, and you just keep ignoring them and saying that I'm scared, I don't have an answer, I'm ignoring it, or whatever. You're coming to these silly conclusions. You're coming to these silly assumptions and these silly opinions and these silly beliefs. And by the way, if you want to play that game and say that I'm basing it off of this, that, there's way more reason for me to assume these things about you than there is for you to assume these things about me. And by the way, I haven't done anything for you to think any of these things. And also, I want to point out to you, but let's try this. Let's say we ignore everything, all right? And then we just keep it simple, and you just really want to know, hey, bro, why didn't you answer my question? Once I tell you what the reason is, what the reasons are, why can't you be a reasonable person and accept it?
I don't have to accept anything.
Okay, well then you're not being reasonable.
Just like when I told you my answer about Michael Jordan being at fault, you said you didn't believe me. You didn't have to accept it, right?
But there's logic to why I thought one thing about you being Michael Jordan, and there's not logic for you to think what you think. There's a lot of things. If I tell you all the reasons, I'll just be going on and on and on and on, and you won't be listening, and you won't admit you're wrong in anything anyway. Then, so let's just keep it simple. There's a lot of things out there that show that I had good reason to think what I think, and there's no reason for you to think what you think.
In your illogical mind.
No, you're the one who is illogical. You think silly things about Michael Jordan and the NBA and voting and all that.
What silly things? It's based
a lot of things. And by the way, you're proving my point. Remember, I said to you how Michael Jordan fans do this thing where they need you to pick someone, and if you don't, they make a big deal out of it and they act like you're scared and all that. You're proving my point. This is what you guys do. You are proving my point that you are a Michael Jordan fan. You are a typical Michael Jordan fan. I am out of all the things in this phone call, I know you're a Michael Jordan fan.
I think truly you're the Michael Jordan.
Okay, well, I have more reasons. You have zero reasons.
I believe I have way more.
I have lots of reasons. I have lots of reasons that can show you're a Michael Jordan. I have lots of reasons that can. I have lots of reasons I can show you that you're a Michael Jordan fan. You have zero reason to show me that I'm a Michael Jordan fan. You have zero reasons to show me that I'm a Michael Jordan fan.
The reason I say you're a Michael Jordan fan is because all you do is say that.
So you're just
because all you do is say you're a Michael Jordan fan.
No, I back it up. You don't back it up. You haven't proven me wrong in anything. You haven't proven me wrong in anything in this whole phone call.
All you say is you're a Michael Jordan fan.
I never said that.
You haven't.
I never said that. I never said that. I never said that. I'm giving you examples.
You never said that?
I've given you tons of examples. I'm not saying you're a Michael Jordan fan just because I say you're a Michael Jordan fan.
You did say that.
No, I backed it up with examples.
Example? Did you give? None of those were factual.
No, they're all. I'm going by what you tell me. Those are your information. It's what you did. What's how you think.
When I was explaining about Michael Jordan, when Michael Jordan didn't win, it was moving the goalposts. I never said when he was winning.
Let's get back to that. Let's get back to that. How is it not moving the goalposts on that topic? Go ahead.
Not moving the goalposts because people have to mature into a game. Mm-hmm. When you first enter a game, into a sport, unless you're lucky, the chances of you being successful or on a successful team are very slim.
I'm a little confused. Michael Jordan won MVP lots of times before he won a ring. How did that happen?
He didn't win MVP until his fourth year in the league.
You didn't answer my question.
I just answered it.
No. Well, then you're not understanding. You're not. Let's try this again. I'm trying to reason with you here. You said to me player maturity versus coming into the league versus later. I said to you, how did he win the MVP award before he won a ring? You said to me he won in 1988.
I said he won MVP in 1988.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 1988.
He didn't win it.
Yes, 1988.
Right. He didn't win a championship.
I didn't say he did. I didn't say he did. I'm saying to you, you're not getting my points. Let me just get to try this again. If he's not mature, if he didn't find his way, if he didn't find his own and all that stuff, how would he win the MVP award?
So he won the MVP award because he started maturing. He came in the league in '84.
Unbelievable.
4 years later, he won.
You will just say anything to get out of it.
So he's getting better every year. So can I say what I'm going to say?
Well, go ahead. But this is another example of how I know you're a Michael Jordan fan.
So he didn't win until they traded Oakley for Bill Cartwright.
Oh, is that what it took? Oakley and Bill Cartwright? That was all there is to it?
That's what it took.
Okay. All right. That's a new one, by the way. You know, I have a thing where I add new... I haven't done it in a while, but a lot of times a Michael Jordan fan will bring up something totally strange, and I'll add it to the list of what Michael Jordan fans bring up. And that's a new one that I would add, that Michael Jordan started winning. The main reason was because of the Charles Oakley and other guy trade.
No. I said they won the championship. They won the championship. They were able to overcome the Detroit Pistons when they traded Oakley. So
is that what it took? I'm asking you, that's the main thing?
So that's what got them over the hump.
No, a lot of things a lot of things play a role. Talking about who talking about who knows the NBA and who doesn't. If you're such an expert and you know so many details, you would know that a lot of things came into play, not just that trade.
Can you tell me one?
Do I really need to? You really think I don't know?
Please.
Okay, let's say.
Please.
No, why do I need to give you examples? You know other things happened.
But tell me what it was.
See, you want me to dumb it?
I don't know.
You want me to dumb
I told you, but I told you what I feel was the factor.
If you
disagree,
your feelings,
can you tell me what else happened?
Your feelings, your opinions, your guesses, your beliefs don't mean anything when it comes to facts. Do you understand that?
So tell me what was the factual thing that changed it?
Why, you don't know? You don't know anything else that happened?
No, do you know?
Well, obviously, if I'm saying it's not the only thing, either I'm lying to you or I know something else.
I haven't heard what that thing is yet.
Why do you need me to tell you what else happened? Why do you need me to tell you?
I don't need you. I'm saying you don't know what happened.
Okay, so then how do I know it wasn't just Charles Oakley and the other guy's trade?
Because anyone can say that wasn't the only factor.
Okay, so then that's what I'm trying to add. That's one of the reasons I don't answer your questions, because instead of getting bogged down into this guy versus this guy, it'll take forever and we'll have stupid criteria. I mean, you'll have stupid criteria. Hold on. Let me finish.
If you disagree with me,
let me just finish. Instead of getting bogged down into your stupid criterias and your inconsistencies and your cherry picking and all that, why not just go by
I believe not answering the question is stupid.
Why not just go to the bigger picture and go by logic that you know other factors play a role?
Give me another reason.
See, you just can't.
Give me another reason.
See,
if that was not the reason, then give me another one.
The reason you keep hammering this home is you have a pride issue. You can't admit when you're wrong. It's pathetic. You want me,
or you can't admit that you don't know.
If I'm trying to explain to you the details and you keep saying, give me a reason, give me a reason, give me a reason, give me a reason. I asked a simple question. 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 When you keep doing that, you're not trying to have a conversation. You're just trying to find a way to win.
No. When you don't answer, you're not having a conversation.
Well, I'm trying to show you something logical. I asked you a question. I asked you a question. You didn't answer me, which was my question was, which you didn't answer. If I don't know the details. But you acknowledge, like you said, people can say these things because other things happen. That means you know other factors happened, which means you don't need me to give you an example.
No, you don't know. What you're doing is, right, making a kind of nonsensical argument. Because we all know
the guy who tells me about Charles Oakley and the other guy being traded, that guy is telling me about a nonsensical argument. That guy, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try this again.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's try this again.
When did he win?
Let's try this again.
When did he win, ladies and gentlemen?
Let's try this again. If you're saying to me that the Charles Oakley trade and the other guy's trade, who was the other guy? Will Purdue? Who was it?
It doesn't matter who.
Oh, now it doesn't matter. Now we don't need details. Okay, no problem.
It doesn't matter because you don't know him.
All right, okay, so now details don't matter, folks. He just, you know what it is, folks? He has a pride issue. He can't admit when he's wrong. Anyway, I asked you earlier, why would someone say that other things happened? And you said to me, and you said to me, well, people say these things because they know other things happened, but they don't know the details. But let's go by that. If they know other things happened, but they don't know the details, doesn't that still mean other things happened? Therefore, you shouldn't base that on the trade?
Nobody is saying other things didn't happen.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh, now he's saying nobody's saying other things didn't happen. Okay,
can I finish saying what I'm saying?
Sure, go ahead. This is fun, like you said.
What I'm saying is, folks, what I'm saying is, audience, that was the major factor in him winning.
You're making things up.
I didn't say other things didn't happen.
You're making things up.
I'm saying that was the major thing.
So if Charles Oakley,
and then I asked you if you disagree.
How do you know that was the major factor? How do you know this?
Because they didn't win before that.
Okay, so anytime a trade happens, that's going to be the only thing that happens.
This trade. Okay. I'm talking about
so
this trade.
So what was so different about this trade compared to all the other trades in the history of mankind?
Because they put them over and they won.
Okay, I could find you tons of examples, and please don't ask me one. And please don't ask me for examples, which you did.
Can't show me one,
I could show you tons of examples where somebody got traded and they were a better player and they didn't win. Do you really need me to show you examples?
Yes, show me one.
Why do you play stupid like that? Why do you do this?
Show me one.
See, and we know the reason, folks, because he can't admit when he's wrong. He has a pride issue, and he wants to. And what he wants to do? What he wants to do? Hang on. Let me just the audience. What he wants to do is because he knows he's losing. He wants to say, "I got him on something."
Yes.
He won't answer my question. He won't give. He won't give me an answer. So therefore, he doesn't have any answer. That's his logic, folks. So let's try this again.
Audience, if you're winning, you answer the question.
Anyway, let's get back to this. I want to know. So I'm saying, can you name any stars who got traded that were better where they didn't win?
Can I name stars?
Sure.
I can name a host of them.
Okay, well then I'm a little confused. If you know some stars are out there, and notice I didn't press you on giving me examples, but if you know they exist, how would you explain that better players who got traded and didn't win happened?
Again, we were talking about this specific team.
Right.
And that specific trade.
So that means other factors came
Every
into play.
trade doesn't work out the same way.
Right. So that means other factors came into play. So that means other factors. So that means other factors came into play.
No, that means that some teams need certain things. Just because you trade for a player,
it's the same thing. Other factors come into play.
Doesn't mean that's what your team needs.
Other factors come into play, right?
That's not another factor. That's not another factor.
Let's try to establish this.
It was simple.
So one sentence is other factors come into play. Your sentence is no, it depends on the team and what they need. What's the difference in both those statements?
The difference is we were talking about a specific team and a specific thing. You said, well, better players have been traded, but that has nothing to do with this trade.
Then you obviously don't understand the connection. The connection is that all the trades that happen in any team, all roles, all factors, all coaches, and all that play a role. You're dumbing things down.
No, what I'm saying strictly, and I said it and I'll say it again, that trade was made for a specific specific reason. So it doesn't matter who's better than who.
It does matter. If Scottie Pippen wasn't there,
It does not matter who's better than who.
if Phil Jackson
In
wasn't
this
there,
trade,
if
but no, in
the
this
general
trade,
manager wasn't
it
there,
did not.
if Michael Jordan wasn't there, who knows what would have happened?
But we're not talking about who wasn't there. The fact is, he was there, they was there, and the trade was made.
Okay, but everything plays a role.
But what I'm saying is, these things were already in place.
Okay, but
the trade was made.
but why are you ranking as the biggest factor?
Because it was.
I've never even heard that from the so-called experts. Well, the main reason the Bulls won is because that trade. How do you explain that your own experts don't even say that?
What experts are you talking
The
about?
same people that you rely on, those idiots.
Who are you talking about?
The people that
Who are you talking about?
Who are you talking about? The people you rely on.
You can't do that. You're not going to get me. I'm asking you who
I
you
know.
talking about.
You have
said
you have a pride issue.
You never heard say it.
You can't admit you're wrong. I understand that, but I'm asking you.
No, you can't admit you don't know.
When it comes to the people, when it comes to the people
and
you
I'm
rely
glad your
on,
fans will get
when
to
it
see
comes to the people you're relying on, how do you explain that those people don't say the main reason the Bulls won was because of?
I don't care, and I'm telling you, those people don't know basketball.
Wait, what? Now you're saying you don't care and they don't know basketball?
No. Well, you didn't say who you so
now you're contradicting yourself. Earlier you were saying...
No, I'm not, because you haven't said who you were talking about.
This whole phone call...
Who's the expert you talking about?
You didn't give me any names.
Who's the expert?
Did you give me names?
Who's the expert?
Did you give me names?
I gave you names.
Oh, which names did you
I gave you the names of the trade.
Okay, well then you know what? Whichever names you gave me, those things.
I'm not the one who never... I didn't say...
You missed what I said. Whichever names you say you gave me, I'm talking about those guys. How about that?
But I never said... I never heard anyone say that. You said...
I never said you said that.
But you said.
Okay, so which ones? So I'd like to know. I'd like to know which of your experts.
I disagree.
I'd like to know. I would like to know which. I would like to know which experts that you claim you supposedly brought up earlier said that the main reason the Bulls won was because of that trade.
When you tell me the ones that said
you don't want to answer. Now you don't want to answer the question. So you don't want to answer the question, huh? So you don't want to answer the question. So you don't want to answer. You don't want to answer the question. So you don't want. So you don't want to answer the question. 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 So you don't know the answer. Oh, so you're scared. So you're scared. You don't know the answer. So you're scared. So you're scared. You don't know the answer. Okay. So you're dodging. You're downplaying. You're dodging. You're downplaying. See the logic? You see the logic on these people, folks? These people contradict themselves. They move the goalposts. They cherry pick things. They have the mindset to just go by whatever they want. In this whole phone call, he never gave me any example of any expert he goes by, and he's telling me he did. Okay, fine. Let's say he did. Let's say he did. And let's say he gave me an example of someone he went by. In this whole phone call, even if he gave me one or more examples, right now I'm asking him, how come those people don't say the Chicago Bulls won, they got traded, and he goes, well, you tell me which guys. And I'm saying to him, sarcastically, I was like, whichever guys you say it, how do you explain they never said it? Whichever guys you go by, sorry. How do you explain they never said it? And he won't answer my question. And now he dumbs it down and goes, well, you didn't answer my questions. I'm not going to answer your question. So anyway, let's go back to this. So now that I know your debating style, now I'm going to keep it simple. I change my debating style when I meet someone like you. Now, instead of giving you long, detailed answers and long, detailed questions, I'm going to keep it simple because sometimes less is more, and it works.
Are you going to answer the questions?
So now we're going to do it your way, where you control the way you want to go, and I'm going to show you how you're still going to lose. Go ahead.
Are you going to answer? So does this mean you're going to answer questions?
I said go ahead. I said we're going to do it your way.
So let's talk about the trade.
All right.
Okay. So I cited that trade for those players as the main reason. I'm asking you, if that wasn't the main reason, is there another one?
There is no main reason. And I'm actually surprised you asked me that because I've told you many times other factors come into play.
Can you name another factor?
Sure. How about the fact that they had a guy who has a case to be the #1 NBA player of all time, Michael Jordan?
That's better. I like this thing. So now,
wait. I need to understand something. You didn't know they had Michael Jordan? Did you know they had him, or you didn't know then?
No, I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
So now that I know that, right? So why didn't they win the year before with Michael Jordan?
It could be a number of factors. How many examples you want?
No, but I just want you to give me one.
Okay, the main reason.
Why they didn't win before
the main reason that a team doesn't beat another team is because they're not good enough. That's why.
No, I'm talking about his team. Why didn't his team?
It's the same thing. The team wasn't good enough. That's the main reason. The reason I said main reason is because other factors might have played a role.
So why weren't they good enough?
You don't want to know the answer? Go ahead. Say whatever you want. You don't want to know the answer? Go ahead.
No. Why weren't they good enough?
That's what I was getting to. Nobody is in the locker room. We don't know who's having chemistry issues, injuries, if a coach is being stupid, if a coach is being questionable or whatever. The reason I talk about teams in general is because none of us know the exact details. But we do know that when a team loses, it's because they're usually not good enough. It could be other factors like the coaching staff, injuries, and so on. Do you know the main reasons?
So again, they had all the same players and coaches.
No, they did not.
They traded one guy for another, and then they go on to win.
Even if I accept that, which I don't, the rest of the league is not the same.
Give me a reason.
Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Even if I accept that, which I don't, the rest of the league is not the same.
What do you mean the rest of the league is not the same?
You Michael Jordan fans don't know basic things about basketball. You guys.
So explain to me. What do you mean that the rest of the league is not the same?
I will, but I'm going to finish this point first. What you guys do is you guys think of it like a video game. Like, if I take out this player and replace him with that player, how's he going to do? Like, you guys go by stupid things like this guy won and this guy lost and analytics and so on.
Well, can you give me a smart reason?
I will. And then when someone tells you, look, dude, there's a lot of factors that come into play, you'll say, I know there's a lot of factors, but
you said the league was different. Can you tell me how?
But you hammer home.
Can you tell me how the league is different?
You don't want to listen to anything I'm saying? You just don't want to listen to anything? Are we done here? You just want to listen to anything?
You're going to rant and you're not. I thought we were going to do it my way. Now you're going to ask the question and get an answer.
That's the only good point you made. That's a good point you made, which is I thought I was going to do it your way. I was actually thinking that too, by the way, that I told him I was going to do it his way.
So you're not going to do it my way.
But to be fair, even though I'm going to even though I'm going to do it your way, it'd be nice if you let me finish some. It'd be nice if you let me. It'd be nice if you let me finish some answers. But obviously, you don't want to let me finish. So go ahead, ask your stupid questions. What's your next question?
It's the same question. What were the factors?
Just to clarify, I already know what it is, but just to clarify for the audience, they might be laughing at you. What's the question?
What were the factors?
Okay, so for example, in 1991, Larry Bird wasn't the same. In 1991, the Detroit Pistons weren't the same. In 1991, even Magic Johnson, who still did well, had HIV, but he still had HIV on there. The Lakers' Showtime weren't the same. And that's another thing that you guys do, which you didn't do, but a lot of people say, oh, they beat Magic Johnson, they beat the Showtime Lakers. That Lakers squad was not the same squad at all. Any year in any sport is not the same, but you guys simplify everything.
And that was the reason. You brought up the Lakers. The Lakers are the team they played in the NBA Finals.
And who did they play before that?
Who, the Bulls?
Yeah. Obviously.
The Bulls weren't in the finals the year before that.
No, before that, before they got to the NBA Finals. Now you're dumbing things down
so
again.
You got to be specific when you're asking the question.
No, but obviously, let me explain. You said that was the team they played in the NBA Finals, so I said, who did they beat before that?
Right, before that. The year before that?
No.
The series before that?
Third round, second round. It's the same season.
Well, you didn't say that.
I didn't say it because we're talking about the Bulls winning that year against the Lakers in the finals. It's the same season, the same team, the same opponents and all that. I wouldn't be asking about the different years. Anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand. So you said the Bulls beat the Lakers, but they didn't just beat the Lakers. They did other things in the season, did they not?
Right. So tell me, who did they beat?
This is silly. Right. By the way, I want to point out to the audience, this guy who gave me a hard time for answering him with questions, a question with the question, and dodging his questions and moving the goalposts and all that. I know he didn't say. I know he didn't say all those things. But this whole phone call, I'm sorry, not the whole phone call. I made a mistake. I want to be fair to the guy. In this phone call, he has questioned me for not answering his questions, for avoiding his questions, for staying on one topic and all that. And this is the same guy who now over and over and over and over, when I'm trying to do things his way, every time I ask him something, well, you tell me. Every time I ask something, you tell me. What do you think happened? How do you think this happened? What happened that time? He keeps asking me questions over and over and over and over. Unbelievable. If you're going to keep asking me questions over and over, we might as well just email each other. What's the point of you being on if you're going to play this game over and over? You tell me what happened. You tell me what happened.
When you said who did they be before that, they weren't in the finals.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about now you keep saying to me, you tell me what happened. You tell me what happened. What happened before that? What happened that time? What happened before that? What happened that time? Who was there? Who was it? Who was it? Who was it? Oh, what happened over there? What happened over there? What happened over there? What happened over there? I mean, what's
no? Wait. When you decided that you were going to do things, Mike, that you would agree to answer questions, we were moving along fine.
Yeah, we were not moving along. We were not moving along fine. We were trying to get somewhere, but every time I was trying to reason with you, you kept ducking and dodging and downplaying and dismissing.
What question did I dodge?
Let's try. I'm not going to go back in a circle. Let's try this again. What question you want me to answer now?
No, I was answering your question.
Okay, that's good. What's your next question?
No, you were asking me the question.
Oh, okay, so we'll go ahead and answer.
So, now that you clarified, they beat the Pistons here in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I didn't even say that, but okay.
No, you said who did they beat before that?
No, you said I clarified. I didn't clarify.
Before they played the Lakers. You clarified what you were talking about, so now I'm answering your question.
Oh, it took you that long.
Pistons.
Okay, so obviously it ain't just about who they played in the finals. There were other things that happened that season.
No, but what I was mentioning about the Lakers made it to the finals. So you said a lot of things would change about the Lakers.
Right.
But they made it to the finals.
Right.
So I was wondering what was changed about them.
Okay. Now, by that logic, I could say the same thing to you. I could say, well, the Bulls made it to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. They were just one game from the finals. So what's so different about them?
Bill Cartwright.
Okay. So one game is Bill Cartwright. Are you listening to yourself?
No, you said what made the difference.
Yeah, I'm saying to you, you're saying to me, the reason they got past that one game is because of Bill Cartwright's not. You know what, dude? I'm starting to give up. You're not even debating me. You're just saying anything to get out of it. It's pathetic. You want to have a debate or you want to be silly? I'm trying to reason with you.
No, sir.
You want to talk? You want to talk about? You want to talk? I'm trying to understand something. If you're going to say to me, if you're going to say to me, the Lakers make it to the finals. There's a lot of problems with this argument. You can still make it to the finals and not be as good. And if you say, how can that happen? It could be.
Asked you what was different.
This is what happens. This is what happens with Michael Jordan fans. Every time. Now he's back to accusing me of not answering his questions. He's back to playing victim again and acting like I'm not answering his questions. I can't ask him a question. He can't ask me a question. I can't answer his question. He can't answer my question. There's no way to win against people like this. Anyway, yes, I didn't answer any question. You answered everything. I've answered nothing.
No, I said you didn't ask.
That's great. So let's get back. I need to follow my own rules and just do things your way. I'm making the mistake and try to reason with you. You're not a reasonable person. So let's go your way.
Correct.
How do you want to do it?
Correct.
And please don't have so much pride with me. Try not to be prideful.
Correct.
Let things go.
I'm very prideful.
And admit when you're wrong.
I'm very prideful.
Yes, you're all.
And
You also play victim.
You just don't know.
You also play victim. You play victim. You play victim. And you know what? You know what? You're not that smart. And you're not that smart. And you're not that smart. And you're not that smart.
What was different about the Lakers? Because they didn't make it to the finals the year
Sure,
before.
sure. I'll tell you. Sure, I'll tell you what's different. And then when I tell you, you can ignore everything and ask me another question. Okay.
No, just tell me.
Okay, here's what's different. First of all, they didn't have Pat Riley as a coach anymore. Secondly, they didn't have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Who was the Lakers coach in 1990?
I just want to point out to the audience, I said to him, sure, I'll answer your question and you can ignore what I said.
And you did. You said
hang on. I said to him, sure, I'll answer your question and you can ignore what I say and ask me another question. And after I answered his question, which I wasn't even done, he ignored it. Hang on. Dude, you're not even listening now. We can't have it if you're not going to listen to anything. Now, when I answered his question, he didn't let me finish. And then what did he do? He ignored it and he asked me a new question. Go ahead.
So audience, so let me say this to the audience.
Just talk to me. Don't talk to you. I talk to my audience. Just talk to me. You don't have to. No, I'm not going to let this go through. No. It's not going to work like. No, it's not going to work like this. It's not going to work like this. You're not going to get through. No, you're playing games with me, and I'm not going to let you win at playing games. He's just playing games. He's not going to win me. They're not getting all this, man. I'm not going to let you be unfair to me like this. You want to be fair, be fair. You want to be unfair, not going to be unfair. What's your next question? What is your next question? What is your next question?
They didn't have Pat Riley the year before that. Why they didn't go to the finals in 90?
Why didn't they go to the finals in 90?
Why did they not go to the finals in 90? You said in 91 the reason they made it is because they didn't have Pat Riley.
Okay, just to make sure.
They didn't have Pat Riley in 90. Why they didn't make it?
I never said that the reason they didn't go was because they didn't have Pat Riley. I was saying to you when you asked me what were the differences, and I gave you one example, and you interrupted me and ignored it and asked me a new question.
Because that's what you do. You answer a question, I ask the next question.
Okay, but you asked...
What are you talking about?
Just to make sure I understand, because maybe I'm not getting you, bro. You asked me to tell you what were the differences. Did you ask me for one difference or multiple differences?
I said, what was the difference on why they didn't go to the final?
Okay.
Or what was different? No, I asked you what was different about them.
Right. So you were open to me giving you more than one reason. So therefore, it was not
I really
just
wasn't,
because, well, if you weren't, that's okay. But then I don't know why you're asking me for some differences. Why are you asking me to tell you what the difference is?
No. Yeah, I said, what was the difference?
Hang on. Hang on. I heard you. I heard you. I'm listening. I'm paying attention. I take in a lot of what you say. Let me explain and you'll get the answer. Yeah, if you didn't say what were the differences and you said what was the difference, that can still mean it's possible there was more than one difference. For example, if you say to me, what was the difference between Michael Jordan in this year and Michael Jordan in that year, there can be more than one difference, right?
Because I'm asking about two.
It's a simple question. I asked you, right? It's a yes or no question. Is the answer yes?
It's not a yes or no question.
Okay.
You asked about,
okay. So then if it's not, okay. So let's try this again. When you asked me what was the difference between those Lakers and this Lakers, I took that as any more. Oh, hang on. When you asked me what was the difference between this Lakers and that Lakers, I took that as a normal person, which is tell me.
That's not what I asked.
Again. Let me tell you. You're not even. You're not. You know. This is the last time I'm going to try with you. You're not even talking to me. You're not even talking to me. You're just talking to yourself. Let's try this again.
No. Let's don't try this.
I understand. I understand. You meant something. I understand. You meant something else. I got it. I got it. Now let me tell you what I meant. When someone says to me, what is the difference There's nothing wrong with taking that as, oh, he's open to the possibility there's one or more differences. But in any case, whoever's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. The reason it doesn't matter is because I never said to you, Pat Riley was the only difference. Do you get that?
I understand what you're suggesting.
Okay. But
and I understand that you may have taken it that way.
Which is normal. Nothing wrong with the way I took it. Most people would take it the same way.
I didn't say that. But what I said was, you also said that. Now watch, he asked me a follow-up question.
Right.
Correct?
No, I didn't say that. I said, watch him ignore what I say and ask me a new question.
But the question I asked you pertained to what you said.
But I never said Pat
So I
Riley
didn't
was the.
ignore what you said.
But if you ask me what is, let me ask you a simple question. If you say to me, what is the difference with these Lakers squads? Why is it bad if I try to give you more than one difference?
I didn't say it was bad.
Okay, so then why do you have a problem
What I
with me
said
doing
was, let me go. What I said was, because you said I was going to ask you a follow-up question, which I did.
And I was,
so
and I accepted it.
Pat Riley was going the year before too.
I got you. After you asked me the follow-up question, I did my sarcastic joke and I said, go ahead, and you asked me the question. But then I clarified to you, wait a second. I never said Pat Riley was the only reason the Lakers were different.
But I didn't say you said that.
But then if you didn't take it that way, why would you?
It wasn't that I took it that way. I had a follow-up question about Pat Riley.
But hang on. Listen to what I'm asking you. If you took it that way or didn't take it that way, whatever, it doesn't matter to me, even though I know you took it that way. But let's say you didn't, okay? Why would you then focus on asking me about the year before as if I'm saying to you, Pat Riley was the only reason?
The reason that I took it this way is because that was your first response.
Oh my God, we're going in a circle. I can't believe this. We're going in a circle. Unbelievable. Again, I never said to you Pat Riley was the only thing, and you didn't let me finish my answer. I was going to list to you other things that were different about the Lakers. In fact, I said more than one thing.
I did not say that you were wrong to do that.
In fact, I
just had a follow-up question about Pat Riley.
In fact, I didn't just say Pat Riley. I also said Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I was trying to show you there's multiple factors. Why would you cherry pick and pigeonhole one topic?
Because they weren't there the year before and they didn't make it.
Right, because those weren't the only two people. There were other people. Do you people not understand the
What I'm saying is,
you Michael Jordan fans don't understand the concept of a team game. When a team wins and a team loses, a lot of things come into play. It's not a simple thing of one guy or one coach or one general manager and all that. It's a lot of factors.
What? I'm sorry. Can we still want to go?
You want to do another time? No problem.
Yeah.
Well, so thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and you're very welcome. Hey, please subscribe. And if you disagree with me on something, you can go on my program and show me your facts on whatever you disagree on. If you want to go on, let's set it up. Send me an email. The email is right there in the description section. Thank you.